What's going on, family? Good evening. Welcome to Cocktails with Chello, episode 14. We made it, baby. We made it a 14. That's awesome. How you guys doing? Pretty good. As I always start all my shows, expressions are solely my own and do not reflect the expressions and views of my organization. And the reason why I bring that up, I work for the second largest recycling and waste company here in the nation, which is Republic Services. And if we haven't met, hey, how you doing? My name is Marcello Arcele, and I provide recycling and waste services for businesses right here in Metro Atlanta. So if you know someone that needs assistance with that, let them know to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help. This stream is being brought to you by Restream.io. So if you guys looking to having a platform to get your message across, and as long as you have access to LinkedIn Live, YouTube, Twitch, you name it. There's so many different platforms you can connect. You can connect over 30 different platforms, and Restreams allows you to do that. In addition to that, if you guys want to support the show, I'm going to provide a link that you can click on, and it'll give you a discount towards signing up for a paid service, and also it gives me a couple of coins. So I thank you very much for that. Let me see here. Today we got an interesting topic, and I've been wanting to talk about Oprah Winfrey's new show that she's going to be launching. So let me bring that up to the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. So give me 1 second. Let me bring that up. All right, here you go. All right, so this is what's going on. Oprah Winfrey she has a new show that actually aired today. Is on Apple TV, and she has a lot of shows. But the interesting part about this show she has got going on is she's going to be talking about the most recent episode that's aired today. The topic is how to be anti-racist. And that was an interesting topic right there. I'm not sure if that's even possible, but let me see if I can actually highlight it right here. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, the first debut episode is going to be tackling about how to be an anti-racist. That alone is an interesting topic even to unpack. So I'm not sure how you're going to be able to really do it any justice, but I wanted to bring that up as a topic that we could talk about. However, most of you guys knows that Cocktails with Chello is a networking type of show. So this is a good opportunity for you guys to get together, talk about what you guys are passionate about, and use this platform for that opportunity. So let me know in the comments. Definitely share your comments and your concerns as that we continue talking on throughout the show. If you see something or hear something you like, just give me a thumbs up or share that. And also let me know what part of the world you guys are watching the show from. So thank you very much for that. Let me see here. We got, I know we got Mr. Christopher Rouse is hanging in there. I also got David in the house, and I got Miss Kenya Wilson in the house. So thank you very much. I'm going to bring you guys in shortly. Let me see what's going on with the chat. Let me see how we doing over here. So we got Christopher Rouse, Team Live. You already know all that. We got Miss Hammond. She's coming from Michigan. What's going on? How are you doing? Thank you for showing up. We got Tinika M is in the house all the way from London. Yes, that's what's up. I appreciate that. We got Earl Major in the house. What's going on, dude? Thanks for showing up. I appreciate the support. And we got also Miss Christina Johnson. Yeah, happy chill, happy cocktails. I love that. If you guys are looking for some help with writing a book, definitely reach out to Christina. We had a show some time ago, so definitely something you want to talk about. So let me take a look here. Let me see what else I got going on here. All right, so let me bring on the folks on here. So let me bring on my dude here. What's going on, baby? How's everything?
What's going on, Marcello? How are you?
Doing good? Yeah, man.
We're
Thanks.
all right.
Welcome. Thank you very much for showing up. And I got another person hanging in the window. We got here, Kenya. What's going on, Miss Wilson? How are you? I can't hear you. Just want to let you know that you may want to change your settings on your... I can't hear. And we also got David. What's going on, David? How are you doing today?
Chello, how's it going, bud? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on what time you guys watch this show. What's going on, sir?
Nothing. I have a weird shot of my face today because I'm driving home, but figured that was a good time as any to call in and just say hello. What's going on?
Yeah, man. Thank you. It looks like that you is that a Lexus you're driving because that top panel looks similar to mine. The layout.
It is. It is.
We
I'll be
Lexus
honest.
owners, we know our setup. You know.
Yeah, it all looks, it all looks similar, but it's all a little bit different, right?
No, no, I agree. Yeah, it's just that it's actually you got the red light. I don't got the red light feature. You got the.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I can't even take credit. It's not my car. I stole my dad's car for this trip, so the miles were on his car, not mine.
hmm
So I drove up to New York, grabbed his car, and drove to Connecticut, and I got to go back and get my car now.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know that red light is the SOS feature. So if you get stranded, you can just boom, pop it. All right, enough with cars with Chello. That's not that show. So let me bring on everybody on board. Kenya, can you hear me now?
Can you hear
I
me?
still can't. Okay, I hear you now. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, so before we get started, or tackling that topic that I brought up, let's start. Kenya's one of the newest ones amongst the cocktails of Cello, and also she's the lady of the group. So I want to invite her. Kenya, why don't you share with us a little bit about yourself? Tell us what you do, and why should folks connect with you on LinkedIn?
Well, I unfortunately have been laid off due to wonderful COVID, but I am also in Atlanta. So I've been here for 3 years from Miami. So definitely new to the area and come from a marketing and sports and hospitality background. So that's kind of a quick spill about me.
Okay, okay, that tells me a lot. Well, I'm sorry that you've been affected by COVID, but thank you very much for joining us today
Absolutely.
and sharing that with us. Now, ideally, what will be the role that you would like to get into?
Ooh. Uh,
Just in case somebody's watching, they might want to say, "Hey, okay, let me give her a shot."
Marketing is broad. So, I'm um, marketing, customer service, hospitality is my passion. It's
hmm
kind of what, I worked in sports for 14 years. I had the privilege of doing that, and that was awesome. And that taught me definitely a lot about hospitality and just customer service as a whole. And started from the bottom and worked my way up.
Now
Um,
you're here.
Absolutely. Worked my way up to while I was there and then switched industries to the food and beverage industries. And as you know, hospitality, with COVID, the food industry was definitely hit hard. So, but I'm open to all opportunities. I'm not limited. So,
No, I agree. Now you actually inspired me. You started from the bottom, so that says a lot right there.
well, definitely working in sports and football, being the only, I definitely male dominated industry. I learned a lot. We'll say that.
hmm No,
Definitely.
now you inspired me. I was like,
Fucking here, started from the bottom, now we here.
there she is.
Started from the bottom, now the whole
Absolutely.
team here.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for sharing that. Now,
No problem.
let me invite the other folks that we have on the wings. We got Chris that showed up here through the back door. He sneaked in. I didn't see him come through. What's going on, Chris? How you doing?
Hey, doing well, doing well.
Thanks for joining us today. And we also got my other dude, Christopher from New York City. Christopher, let folks know about you and what do you do basically. I know that you're like the master connector, but tell folks about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from upstate New York, like the rest of the whole state. I'm just north of the capital, Albany. And what I do for people is I am the concierge of business solutions with the National Association of Local Businesses. So really what I can do for you is I can facilitate whatever it is you need for your small business needs, whether that's funding or tech support, or you're looking for, things just to make yourself stick out a little bit differently. I definitely, I want to connect with you on that, and I want to show you what it is, and I want to bring you that value so you can, instead of spending time working outside of your business to work on it, you can just work on it or work in it, do what you got to do.
That's the key thing. I think that when you say that, I think about a lot of businesses that do a lot of the work themselves. It could be something as simple as working the books, let's say probably doing some plumbing or things of that sort. But eventually they decide to outsource it. But the fact is, who do you actually outsource it to? So is it safe to say that you do a lot of the vetting, or who do you decide to bring into the pool of people that you connect other people with?
All of the people, they're highly vetted through the CEO of the company. Him and his team do endless hours of research to make sure that not only you're getting the best quality, but you're also getting the best price.
Okay.
Because that's important.
That's awesome. I mean, Chris, I'm thinking about, when he says this, I'm thinking about the system that we have here, or the service that's called Trust Dale. I mean, a lot of people here in Metro Atlanta is familiar with that, the gentleman and that service that he provides. So it's very similar to that, like that Trust Dale thing. I think you sign up for, it's almost like Angie's List, but a little bit different, So given that I got you on the screen, Chris, tell folks about yourself and what new venture that you are supporting.
Yeah, I've pivoted a bit, and
Okay.
I think most businesses and individuals should look at what they're doing and figure out they need to make a change in direction. And worst case there is you do a 360 and you look all the way around and you decide to drive the same way you're going right now. But at least you've examined options and looked at maybe different things you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I did make a pivot there, Chello. I've branded myself the B2B guy, and I've done that for years. I've always been much more comfortable making sure businesses are supported by the businesses. I know Christopher has heard this one a couple times, but I don't care if you're a big B or a little B. I just want you to be a healthy bee. I want you to be flying around, making more honey, and growing and growing the population. So, because I do love working with smaller businesses, more rewarding, but at the same time, large businesses definitely ones that want to make sure that they're getting the support to grow, because every single business is supporting families. It's not just the business; it's everybody they employ, all the family members, and so it's just extremely important for us to get back towards business and back towards that new normal we're going to be at. So the pivots I've done, just so you knew, Chello,
Mm-hmm.
one of them with Thought Horizon,
Yeah.
with Sandra Bean, and then another one's this awesome company I started to help out, and it's out of New York, so it's out of Christopher's home state. And it's a company called Clatch, and they've got a phenomenal vision. It's a goal that if they can reach it, will really make a big impact on society. It is to eliminate the burden of loneliness in the senior community. And so it's awesome. They've got a great team already. I'm glad to be able to help them out in any capacity. And quite honestly, it's one of these things that it should be on Oprah. So I loved your topic.
Yeah.
But it's one of these things. If we find ways as a community to alleviate loneliness, to build the happiness through the Happiness Neighborhood Project or whatever, but we're building up good spirit. Everybody's going to be stronger at the end of it.
No, I think that's the key thing, and I like that initiative that you have with Clutch. Is quite noble that you're taking that on and you're partnering with them. Now, let me get back to Kenya. So now, given that you share with us your ideal role and where you came from Miami, now you're in Atlanta, Georgia, and you started from the bottom. Now you're here. Now, other than what you've done and what you're considering, what else? What's on your plate that that either you're thinking about either working on, or are you considering to pivot into different passion projects? Just curious to know a little bit more about you, Kenya.
Well, since I have nothing but time, I'm using this opportunity right now to actually just further my education. So I actually entered to FAU's hospitality and tourism certificate. So I'm there. I'm also at University of Delaware as well, taking digital marketing. So I'm actually taking 2 courses right now just to further my education. So, when the gates open up again for everybody, that I've just armed myself with more tools that I didn't have before.
That's good. That's good. So what's the reason why you're considering these 2 different educational paths?
Well, digital marketing, because that's kind of like the way of the world right now, just so I want to make sure that I have a better understanding of digital marketing and just that realm, because I had a little bit in that arena, but I just wanted to broaden my horizon. And then with hospitality, I mean, it's what I do, but it's just to kind of enhance my skills. So that's why I wanted to do it. So
no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I congratulate you, and it's quite good. It's quite astonishing that you're taking on 2 new challenges, rather than, other than just continue your job search. You're actually
absolutely,
it's outstanding. So it's pretty good, and I think that is quite noble to do that, because now as you continue your job search, I'm sure you're even considering other things other career paths that you would have not considered before, because given what your different classes you have considered to take on.
Yeah, but it's interesting, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember his name, who just spoke with the
Chris.
Thank you, Chris. When he just stated, like, you may pivot and realize that you may end up back to where you are. And that's kind of what, during this time, like, it's been 4 months. And during the 4 months, you go through an emotional roller coaster of different emotions. In there, I think I've hit them all. But I think I'm done, hopefully. Hopefully.
I'm glad to hear that, Kenya.
Hopefully, I'm done with all the emotional roller coaster, I hope. But I think the one thing out of everything that I've learned, well, the most important thing that I've learned so far, that I've learned that I actually like me. And because when you're isolated by yourself for months, I've actually learned things that I actually like, that I like about myself, that I didn't really have time to do, because it was going from sports to restaurant. It's not a 9 to 5. It is a 7 a.m. to maybe 1 a.m.
in the morning.
It was I never had time to actually see who Kenya was. Yeah. And what's funny was Chris's statement was, I've realized that I've been looking at different things and I'm open to everything, but I do realize that I like hospitality. I'm passionate about helping people, and I'm passionate about creating experiences for people. So that's what excites me, and that's what drives me. And it's not, I love money. I do, don't get me wrong, but what drives me is more of just helping people and creating an experience. And working in sports, that's what you do. I worked in it for 14 years, and you forget that when you forget of being on the field, that to you is work. It's work. But when you see a 5-year-old or a 55-year-old man, and they look at it, you see that 55-year-old man look at it as if he was 5, and you're like, oh wow, I forgot. Like, because you get immune to it, because it's work. It's fun work, but it's just work, and it's but it reminds you all the time, like, this is why I do what I do. That look right there, whether you're 5 or 55 or 85, it's just, that's what I like to do. So
that's compelling. I think about what you just said about being on the field. I mean, can you tell us some either a story, a remarkable story that stands out when you was on the field? You piqued my interest on that. I'm not sure that either Chris's could come up with a story about being on the field. So, I mean, mind you, Chris Whitmire, he's a former veteran, so he got some interesting stories. But I mean, you're right now. You're the newbie on the cocktail section, so definitely want to
How
learn.
big was the crowd, and
Yeah.
how jazzed up were you to be there? I mean, tell us about that. That's when I look at professional sports. I just think, you're on the stage, right? But at the same time, you're looking in the eyes of your opponent, and you're having to go to battle a little bit.
I can say where I worked, which is fine. I worked in undergrad. I worked for the Cincinnati Bengals, and then when I completed graduate, I went and worked for the Miami Dolphins. And two completely different organizations, but I learned a lot from both. They were amazing, and opening day is always like the best because you forget. You forget that, like, wow, this is what I do for a living. Like, I'm here. This is, you get to see everybody. You get to see that opposing team, your team, and you forget until that opening day, like, okay, wow, this is why I'm here. Then, that kickoff and like, oh, it's worked. I'm back. It's reality kicks in. But for me, the most, always, every game was on the field was exciting because part of our job was creating experiences for our fans, and we gave them the opportunity to hold the national flag for during the national anthem. And every time I did that, that was exciting because it was, it could be a 5-year-old to an 85-year-old, and just giving them that opportunity to be out there and them being excited. And that, because how often are you on the field at an NFL team?
Yeah.
And, with your favorite team or across from that team that you really don't like, either or, but you're also out there holding the flag and at the same time you have a flyover, those were always just a lot of fun.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I appreciate you sharing that. That's mind you, I think who I was, the only celebrity or sports guy that I recall that I met, and I met him at in the airport, was the guy that was married to the Kardashian lady,
Reggie Bush?
one.
Chris Humphrey.
The basketball player. He used to play for the Nets at one point. Yeah, him. Yeah, I met him in passing. I was like, hey, that's you, right? Okay, let me take a photo. And that was it. So I don't know his stats. I don't really keep up with his career, so I didn't know much about that. But that was the extent of that. Well, I'm glad you guys remembered his name. So
I thought you meant Kanye West or Kanye.
Yeah,
I was like, which Kardashian is talking about?
I know. Yeah, that's
the fact that he's vying to be on a ballot is just it doesn't make any sense.
Well, now, given that Chris brought that up, what's your thought of voting for Kanye West?
Kanye. God, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got confused because Kenya's in the house.
Kanye, I don't know. Well, I don't see the similarities, but I can understand it without the A and the E. I get you.
I've got a dyslexia for names sometimes. It's just trust me, my whole family has it.
No, don't worry about that. And even the dog that's going to do an appearance soon enough, it has a dyslexic problem as well.
Yes, he does.
So, Christopher, given you brought that up, what do you think about voting for Kanye?
I think it's a terrible idea. I think he's unstable. I think at best he's the hype guy. Mm-hmm. He's the guy that you put in the wings and just let him do him and let him boost your profile. Because his profile is great because he's everywhere. Everybody knows who he is. I don't think he should be the president. Not even close. Not a chance. I will move to Australia, even if I got to swim.
Okay, so everybody said that if Trump would have got into office, he was gone. Everybody said if Trump got into office, people was going to leave. So now Kanye will actually move you out of the country?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Christopher, there's no snow in Australia. Your wife will not be happy.
Oh. She will be happy because it's Australia and there's beaches.
Sure. Another country.
So, Chris, are you going to be voting for Kanye?
Negative.
You mean me or Chris?
Yeah. Yeah, we already know Christopher's now. Chris, are you going to be voting for Kanye?
I will not.
No. What about Kenya? You know, your name sounds familiar. You should be able to support him.
Are you looking for a real answer?
I guess not. Yeah, no. I mean, well, no. The reason why I was asking that question is, let me ask you, Dave. Are you going to be voting for Kanye? I guess not. No, the reason why I asked that question is because I had a conversation with my wife, and we both agreed that Kanye most likely will be taking votes away from, you know, the Democratic, Biden, basically, essentially, which it doesn't set up, you know, for having a fair election. So that's the key thing.
He's
All right.
not even gonna make the main ballot.
I know. Dave, the question is, are you going to be voting for Kanye if he gets on that ballot?
I will not be, no.
Okay.
I'll
Music. I'll give him that. I love his music.
Yeah, I like his music as well. I definitely can appreciate his music. I mean, he actually recently, even before he announced, or before he was doing his tour, I was listening to some of his older music. So before we continue on, I want to get the. I'm getting people hitting me up on Twitter. People are hitting me up right now on Twitch, Facebook, and they're saying, Marcello, what you drinking? I'm drinking a little bit of some smoky Tennessee. This one, and look, it's over, baby. So I mixed that with I mixed it with what's this called? Lemonade and iced tea. Bob Arnold. Whatever was that called again?
Arnold Palmer.
Thank you. Yeah,
Arnold Palmer.
so I mixed that with that, and it has a nice little kick. So let me ask you this, Chris from Atlanta. What are you drinking today? Because it's cocktail.
It's still my favorite. It's a Quarantino. Everything that happens here stays in the vault, by the way. This isn't last year, is it?
I love it. So what's going on over there, Mr. Christopher? What are you sipping on?
The same thing I'm sipping on every night.
Okay, some HTO. That's always good. What about Kenya? What are you sipping?
I'm following Chris. It's just water.
That's good. That's good for you.
That's water.
And I know that Dave had a little bit of some hand sanitizer. I'm sure he's not drinking any of that. What are you drinking over there in the car? H2O.
He's driving.
I just had a soda, which I had to pull over again because I didn't realize at my first stop that I had to go. Should have went to the bathroom while I did that. So, now I'm heading back down the road.
That's funny. So now, going to the topic at hand, I when I saw that Oprah is going to be releasing a new show, and I saw the topic about being how to be an anti-racist, and mind you, it was an interesting topic that she chose to take on, and I haven't seen the show yet. I actually, before going live, I was wanting to know if I could actually watch it. I think it might have not been released yet to be viewed, or maybe it came out 8 o'clock during prime time. But the topic was quite sensational, so much so that I wanted to get people's views on that. Because the word racist and then anti is almost like it's an oxymoron, so I'm not sure how those two go together. So just curious to know. So now, given that we got Kenya, again, she's one of the newbies in Cocktail, I want to get her. No? Okay, you want to get everybody else's opinion first? Cool.
Yes.
So let's ask Quarantino on the bottom left, Chris Whitmire. If anything, you may want to ask your doggy ask for his opinion or its opinion. But what's your take on being anti-racist?
Man, that's a tough one. I was hoping I could catch the show. I will say I love Oprah. I'm glad she's not running for president, or I would vote for her. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, she would have a good shot.
Yeah, because I think she has a unique ability of drawing people out in a good way. Mm-hmm. So I don't know who her guests were, but I'm sure it is a very informative show. I don't know about anti-racism. I do believe, and I believe we need to solve some things as a country that are systemic, that are wrong. So I would just keep calling it. Let's figure out how not to be racist. Period.
Yeah, or just better yet, just at the end of the day, you don't have to be a butthole. I mean, it's just regardless. I think that I don't care what color you are, what team you support, who you're dating, who you want to date. At the end of the day, my philosophy has always been, as long as it doesn't affect my life and my family, so far we're doing good. Then once I walk outside of these doors and interact with other folks, I just treat people the way I want to be treated, with respect. I mean, it's not hard to do. And that does, I mean, at the end of the day, if I went out of my home and I could not see, I would treat the people the same way if I could see them or not see them. So I've never understood that. So if I go to, let's say, Whole Foods, and I got a cashier to be a butthole, guess what? I'm going to treat the cashier as a butthole as well. But I don't get it. I never understand the I just don't get it. I mean, and mind you, you can see I'm of color, and so I've lived scenarios that sometimes you're kind of, I think that person probably didn't give me the thumbs up or wasn't too warm because of this or that. But you know what? You leave that over there and move on. But the fact is, imagine if more people were just accepting and just wanting to help and just be human. And what I mean by human, I mean, that's a pretty skewed statement. But I mean by just caring and treat people the way you want someone to treat your loved ones, your family. Because I think about when I'm out and about and I'm doing my job, my wife has to go out and run errands as well. My daughter, she works with the public. And I got a 14-month-old that soon enough is going to be bouncing around talking to strangers. I would love people just to treat everyone with respect and kindness. And I think that when it comes down to the word racist, those two words that I just meant or said is omitted in the definition of racist to me. Because I just feel that being kind and respectful is not part of the vocabulary when someone's being racist. So now, given that said, anti-racist, that really is messing up my head. And I still don't, and to be honest, I don't really know what is the best definition of that. That's why when I saw that she's having that as a topic of her new show, my interest was absolutely piqued, and I really wanted to know her thoughts and her insight on that topic. So that's why I wanted to get you guys' point of view on that as well. So just curious to know who would like to go next and share your thoughts on that.
Gracias. Thank you.
Gracias. Espera un momentito. Your little boy ya está hablando español?
No.
Okay.
I just speak random broken Spanglish and other languages homologated into mine.
Okay. So your wife is, she speaks Spanish?
No, she's almost see-through.
Okay. Cool. So what are your thoughts on that the topic or what I've shared thus far?
So when you tagged me in that comment, I've been literally thinking about this answer ever since you tagged me in that comment earlier, and then I went and did the same thing to a bunch of my connections. And for someone to be an anti-racist, my initial thought was that almost sounds like the same thing as being somebody. Is the same thing as someone who's like anti-Semitic. I don't like you because you're Jewish or you're a certain kind of way. And then I started thinking about it deeper, right? Yeah. And it's all about changing an entire belief system, because there are people out there who understand that racism is wrong. It is something that they were pre-exposed to. They grew up with it. It's a learned behavior, and just like every learned behavior, you can unlearn the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
People who smoke, it is something that is very difficult to quit, but with the right appropriation and the right willpower, you can do it. So, actually, Merritt Minnemeyer, who is a transformational wellness coach, she made like an awesome point. She said, it takes consciousness of intrinsic bias, ownership of privilege, genuine humility, and a deep commitment to one's own betterment and true empathy. So it takes somebody who has the want to be educated and the drive to make an appropriate change, right? Because without education, this whole racism thing will never go away. Without proper education and learning that humanitarianism is really the way to be, as opposed to I don't like you because of the color of your skin, or I don't like you because of your sexual orientation, which none of it makes any sense when you look at it. Because if you're going to be a butthole, you're going to be a butthole no matter who you are, and if you're not, then it doesn't matter who you are because everybody brings something of value.
No, I mean, I think that is well said and definitely well framed up. It just doesn't, sometimes I just, let me say this, and this is what I've been guilty of doing, and a lot of my family members sometimes wish that they could have the same mindset, but at the same time, they feel that it's a disservice. I essentially live in a bubble. And what I mean by that is that I very rarely keep up with current affairs. This is a rare scenario that I was able to know that this show was coming out and the topic that she was choosing for her first episode. For the most part, I literally live in a bubble. I curate the content that I listen to, the videos I watch. I don't tune in to the news. I don't actually tune into the news. That's what I'm trying to say. I choose what comes in my eyes and my ears. So given that said, it's so common that someone will send me a link via text, or a friend of mine, I'm having a conversation, and they'll say, so what do you think about what happened with so-and-so? And my first response is going to say, I don't keep up with current affairs. What is it that happened? So that's why sometimes some of the posts you guys might see on my feed is really true. I mean, I like the one I posted today, and I'm like, I'm wiping myself and I'm pretty happy. I live in that bubble. I self-motivate myself because that's the only way that I feel I can keep going. Otherwise, I'll be melancholy. I'll be down. I told my wife this morning when I got up 7:30, I said, gosh, the way I feel this morning, I wish it was Saturday. That's how exhausted I am. So sometimes I run on fumes, but it's kind of weird. It's like, but like I said, I live in a bubble, so a lot of the external stuff that we as normal humans don't really permeate to me because I'm oblivious to it. So that's how I live. So Kenya, what are your thoughts on the anti-racist topic, or did you have a different point of view on that topic?
I want to see the show so I can get a better understanding as to what.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way.
That question, because I have so many thoughts in my head, but I really just kind of want to see her perspective as to how she's addressing that, sure. and would be so open and interested to see who those guests are that she has a part of the show.
Yeah.
Because I know that it's going to be, because it's Oprah, so it's going to be definitely, we're going to be talking about it.
It's going to be sensational. We know that. No,
we're definitely going to talk about it afterwards, and there's going to be there's going to be some conversation. So I can't wait to see what that all entails. So,
no, I'm with you. And I could appreciate someone defaulting to not commenting. So I can appreciate that because even though I went into a long diatribe, essentially I ain't say shit. so because I really didn't have much of an opinion because I haven't seen it, and that the topic itself is absolutely foreign to me. I don't really know how to approach it. The best response I've heard thus far was Christopher's because he did some background on it, so that he was able to speak eloquently on the topic. Now we got Mr. This guy over here. What's that? Oh, here we go. Right there. This guy right there in the bottom. Mr. Chris in Atlanta. So what you got going on? So did you want to revise your earlier, or are you still stand on what you said earlier?
I think I've talked about this with you before, Chello. And one thing that struck me over the last, I guess it's a few months now since George Floyd was killed, was I have a strong feeling that. And this is the part that makes me realize that we've got to make a change. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different places in America. We have urban areas, suburban areas, rural areas, but there shouldn't be a single place in America that anyone feels like they can't walk out their door at any moment and be free. Mm-hmm. And so it doesn't matter if it's 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. Somehow we got to figure out a way where nobody in this country, I'm just going to say that, nobody in our country should be fearful to walk out their front door by themselves, walking their dog, going for a run, going for a walk, whatever they're going to do, get in their car and feel like they should drive. Because that's, the whole reason we have America is we're supposed to be free, right?
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be faced with situations where before you go out that door, here's what you got to be worried about. Before you go out that door, don't go out the door. It's not safe right now. So that's where I hope we find a point of recognition as a country that's the piece with the systemic nature of racism that shouldn't exist. We're a free country. We fought for our freedom. We deserve it, and so it shouldn't be a decision point made because of being fearful to go out your own door. I guess that's the way I kind of feel about it, and that's made me realize that there's got to be changes. Because if anybody feels that's not the case, then that's
no. I think that was a good answer. I could definitely appreciate this. So thank you very much for sharing that. Now, I think given that all of us haven't seen the show, I think that we talked about it enough what we could, given that we don't really have much to share on that, and I'm pretty disappointed because I'm going to pass like the different topics that I've talked about. Either like last week we talked about Aunt Jemima and Quaker Oats deciding to remove Aunt Jemima as a marketing figure, and then the week before we had a different topic, and we had the video or the audio to talk to or listen to. So unfortunately we had that this time. So now, given that said, I'm just curious around. Now we could probably pivot at this point. But before let's go into the chats. And I did see a couple of chats earlier that were supporting what Kenya's move was to go into digital marketing. And my dude, John, was talking about digital marketing is not going away. And if anything, is going to continue to evolve. So that's what he was talking about earlier. And if anyone that's watching this, and even the folks start out here in the panel, if you're not connected with Jim, I definitely recommend you to do that. He has a fabulous new podcast called Launch Your Live. I listen to it every single week. It's a great podcast, so I definitely recommend everyone to watch that. Okay, we got Christina in the house. She's saying money is good. It's a tool to be used wisely, and it gives us options and can take care of our necessities. So hashtag get money. There we go. Young. What's that called? Get money. I'm trying to remember that one. What's that group? I forgot. So, and then we got, what else we got? And then Christina agrees it's a great place to be in. Don't remember what she was referring to earlier, and we got Deborah's in the house as well. Deborah McKinsey is saying congratulations and giving us some claps on that. Let me see. And I got someone else that is a LinkedIn user that commented earlier, but I don't see. Okay, here we go. Oh, Deborah, thank you very much. and we got Chad in the house as well. He's giving his applause. Also, I saw that we got some folks in that gave some thumbs up. So we got Miss Francis. Thank you very much for being here. Miss Francis and I had a great discussion recently via Zoom, and she and I are considering to do tackle the EHS topic, which is quite near and dear to me, which is environmental health and safety, especially with any organization like large Fortune 500 companies. That's a big topic, so we're considering to tackle that topic and then have a series. I see we got Doug Neiman is in the house, so thank you very much for coming through. We got Fernand also showing up as well. Thank you very much for coming through as well. So guys, if you're watching us live, let me know in the comments. If you're watching us live, feel free to put it in. You're watching us team live, let me know there. Or if you're watching team replay, put it in the hashtag. And also, you could join in the conversation as we continue to talk and just share your thoughts there. And this is Cocktails with Chello, episode 14. So I want to let everybody know that as well. And lastly, let me know where you guys are watching in the world. If you're watching me from Atlanta, Georgia, like Kenya is in, and also Chris, and then all the way from New York City. And then lastly, if you're watching me from Bangladesh, I don't know why I like that country, but I keep saying that. Let me know. Okay, so we tackled as best we could the topic of anti-racism earlier. Mind you, I was thinking about actually having the show and showing it, playing it in the background, but unfortunately it hasn't aired yet, so we can talk about that. But the topic itself of being anti-racist or how can someone be anti-racist is such a dynamic topic, and given not knowing exactly, because I've never heard of the topic of anti-racist, and if you heard of it and you're watching this in the replay or you're watching it in live, I've never heard of being anti-racist. It's blowing my mind, so I'm not sure how to tackle that. So I'm ignorant, so I can definitely profess to that. So let me know if you guys have any thoughts on that. If you're watching live, let me know. If you're watching replay, put at my name or anyone else that is in the panel so we can continue the conversation as well. Another thing, this show is being sponsored by Restream. So I want to let you guys know, if you guys want to use a platform to get your message across, definitely use the platform as Restream. You can use it to get your message across over 30 platforms, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn Live, Periscope. So everyone in different areas are watching me right now live, so definitely want to recommend you guys to do that. I already put a link to signing up. If you choose to go with a paid option, you get a discount, and also I get a little bit of coins, so thank you very much for that support. Now let's see what we're going to be going into now. Just curious to know now, outside of pivoting, and we talked about that topic before, what are you guys thinking is, because right now we're mid-year, and the first 6 months was just outright horrific. Like Kenya, she was affected personally. Christopher, I'm sure even what he normally does took a dramatic change. And then lastly, Chris, the copier guy, the B to B, you want to turn small B's to big B's.
That's
he's the pivot master. This guy is he's doing the cha-cha. I mean, this guy. So, unfortunately for you guys got into some craziness. Fortunately for me, I'm in an industry which is essential, which is basura, trash. So, people need to get their trash picked up and people need to get service. However, the people that I was helping to come on board to Republic Services, it dramatically changed naturally because there was less businesses being established, so less business that I was going to be able to bring to Republic Services. However, I luckily I work for a company that's very generous, so they asked me to stay on board, and so I'm quite grateful and thankful for that. So now, I feel that July was January. That's my point of view. July was my January, because January, even though a lot of you guys may not have known this, this started in October and December in China. And, your boy that doesn't keep up with current affairs, somehow I heard about it because what I do keep up is with tech news. So a lot of the tech companies in China, they were affected because people were getting sick that go into these factories to build these gadgets. So that's how I found out about COVID late last year. So I knew about it back in January, even before it came stateside. So given that said, July has been my January. So now, what are you guys thinking? What's coming up for the rest of the year, or in this case, the beginning of the year? So let's start from the top, and we keep going down clockwise. So Christopher, what are you thinking about? How's your rest of your year going to be looking like?
It really depends on how this epidemic is handled. I mean, with the amount of products and services that I have, I can absolutely see myself at least slowly starting to gain traction. But that could go the other way if we have to get into another spot where we're shelter in place.
No, I get that. And now, Chris, what you're thinking about? How do you look? Like when you sit back and you look at because we're both in sales, when you look at your funnel for obviously July. I keep saying January, but July's already gone, and you got August and September. How do you feel? How's your funnel looking like for the rest of the next few months?
Well, definitely on the copier side, the level of business has leveled off, but it hasn't totally died out. Mm-hmm. So it's just resetting it at this point. It honestly, until there's more of a back to work environment, which I thought would occur months ago, and it hasn't, obviously. Mm-hmm. It's going to be at a lower level, but in a real rough way, 5% of the companies, even up to 10% of the companies, are experiencing a surge in business. Mm-hmm. But then, unfortunately, those other 90% are either shut down or at a pretty reduced level. So, forecast-wise, it's reality.
Yeah,
Just dealing with that, and but we had an uptick in July. So the problem is,
same here.
Businesses are opening, and then half the businesses that opened are closing.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm the same way.
So it's
I don't have it here, but I'm thinking about. Let's say, for instance, do I have it handy? But I often pull up the business listings in the different counties I do business in my territory. And so let's say, for instance, I don't have anything handy, but let's say, for instance, in March or in April, I might have had like 1 or 2 pages of new business listings. July, man, I had 8, 10 pages. I mean, it was a drastic jump. So needless to say, I've been busy visiting folks, see how we can help and setting up different solutions. So I've been pretty busy. So I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm cautious because within my company, without telling you exactly specifics, but we originally were thinking about going back soon. Like going back to normal, having people working in the office. And I'm not giving any dates or anything, but just we were planning to go back soon. And this was a discussion we had a couple of months ago, maybe about 6 weeks ago. We most recently had a discussion, and they say they're going to reevaluate us coming back soon in the fall. So in the fall, they're going to say, okay, we're going to get back together and we'll talk then if we're going to consider to bring everybody back into the office. That's pretty deep. And I bring that up because I recently heard that Google said that they're not going to require people to come back to the office. I think it was July or May, something crazy to next year. I say it's crazy, but it's very, very conservative. So I feel that a lot of businesses the one that I represent, chances are they might get back in the fall and reevaluate it. and say, you know what? Forget about it. Let's start new, let's start fresh, and let's start in January. And then if anything changes, then we'll reassess it then. So now let me get Kenya's point of view. So what do you think about? I know that you work looking for work, and you are going taking two different courses. What's your outlook for the rest of the year?
The way it looks right now, I feel like it's going to be. I would love something to come to fruition tomorrow, absolutely. But I kind of feel like that I'm not going to see, and not just me, but I feel like people in my situation aren't going to see anything. We have to turn around until 2021. I wish I could say me and the millions of people out of work would all be back to work come September, and the gates would open. But I don't think I don't think September is going to be it. It just really depends on if we can get this stable enough where the numbers aren't going up, And right now I kind of feel like no one's stabilizing. Everybody, you have small states they're kind of flat, I think. But I kind of feel like, here in Georgia, we're just going up. It's not in Florida. Where my friends are and some family, Florida's definitely going up. So it's just like we're all just at a standstill, just waiting. So I wish I had the answers for everybody, especially in my position. But I think it's going to be months before we see anything.
No, I think that's a logical point of view. Mind you, my point of view is a little bit different, and I'm sure that Chris and I may have a very similar point of view because we're both in sales. So our mindset is a little bit different when it comes down to how we tackle the day-to-day. Even maybe in Chris, even though his role may not be specifically the same as ours. I'm not sure if you have a quota that you have to meet, but like in my case and Chris, we got specific quotas we got to meet. So our mindset is a little bit different. So like we try to have a little bit, even though we know the what's realistic and what we're dealing with, we might try to, like almost like we jack ourselves up to be positive. Like, oh no, we're going to have a good month. We're going to be positive. But the fact is, the only way that's going to work is that we put the effort. So what I mean by that is that, okay, imagine if I say to my my boss, well, I don't think I'm going to hit my quota for next month. Or I don't think I can admit it for the next month or the month after that because, we don't really have a handle what's going on with COVID. It's unacceptable. And so given that said, I find different ways to try to still fill that funnel. So I challenge a lot of people that are watching this, despite what's happening in your life or even, like what Kenya shared earlier, she's unemployed. There's a lot of things you could potentially do. Kenya's already doing it. She joined us here on LinkedIn, LinkedIn Live, Cocktails at Chello. I definitely recommend you to do this afterwards. Share the video with your network and let folks know, hey, I was on Cocktails with Chello. I drank water, no cocktail. But take a look at the conversation we had. And it just shows that, you stepping out the box. And essentially, say, for instance, if somebody looks you up after you apply for the job and they see that you're talking on LinkedIn Live and you're having conversations, you're interacting, you're networking, you're standing out from other applicants. So any little thing that you do different can set you apart. Like in your case, you're looking into digital marketing, maybe put in digital marketing into Google News and setting up a news alert. So whenever you see different articles that match that criteria, then you can share those articles, read the article, and then probably give your spin on the article. And then you can find different ways to create or becoming an expert slowly but surely. So let's say hypothetically you apply for a digital marketing position and they look you up in LinkedIn. It's showing that you're having conversations in that topic. So the same thing applies to anyone else. I'm doing this because guess what? I'm going to stay relevant with my existing customers, people that I'm connected with. This video is going to come up in their feed. And they say, oh, that's that Marcello guy. Or I connect with someone today, and tomorrow when they pull up LinkedIn, chances are they're going to say, hey, that's that guy that was here yesterday. So,
Right.
so those are the small things that you do that you can set yourself apart that makes a big difference. So I definitely recommend. So if anything, challenge. I keep saying I recommend anyone challenge what you're doing. Meaning, okay, if you're saying, okay, I applied at 10 different places, or I knocked on 10 different doors. Okay, now sit back and ask yourself, okay, those 10 people that I spoke to, or those 10 resumes, did I really give it my best? Or where can I tweak it? Did I seem genuine? Did I ask them how they're doing? I don't know. Sometimes what I mean by that is I try to do constant assessment, regular assessments of what you're doing almost daily, to the point that if you look back at the end of the month, like right now, Chris and we're in sales, and tomorrow's the 31st. It's kind of weird to come back and look like, oh, yeah, this month sucked. But if you did it daily, then you could actually constantly tweak what you're doing, so then you can have a more productive month, and you'd be surprised what you could do. I think about it almost like a bodybuilder. You know, you're pushing 200 pounds, and then you put extra 10 pounds on either side, 220. Keep going, and then to the point that you can't go anymore, but push to the limits and see how far you can go, and that's where greatness comes. And you only know that when you do that. But if you just go within your comfort zone, you never know how good you could be. So
Right.
So that's
one of the other things. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No.
One of the things that I have also done since have nothing but time is with LinkedIn. It's just being more engaged with LinkedIn. And before I would actually just I would connect with people, but that would be it. I would just add them to my network, but that would be the end of the that would be the end of the conversation. I would not start a conversation. I would not talk to them. I would not do anything. So, but now I find myself, I'm like, okay, from connecting and having conversations with people from all walks of life and all different types of industries, and just building a true network of people. And that's something that I've actually done for myself and pushed myself out of that comfort zone. I'm very open and friendly. I will talk to anybody. So I've never had a problem with that, but it was just with LinkedIn because I didn't have the time to just kind of build those connections, which that platform, that's what it's there for. So I'm not saying that I want to be unemployed, but I'm finding, like you said, finding positives in this. And so for me, during this time, I'm finding positive spins on things and hustling every day and just meeting new people and having real conversations and getting to know people, but also at the same time hustling and building my personal brand of going back to school and just enhancing my portfolio, and so building my brand just personally, but also professionally. So that's kind of what I just try to encourage everyone to do. Is just it's a hustle, and whether you are a graduate straight out of college or you are new to the work world, reinventing yourself or whatever, it's right now it's just about that hustle, and the hustle is about just connecting with people. So that's kind of where you need to start.
Yeah, I would agree that that's the key thing, and it helps to do that. And I think that another thing you could do is, like, sometimes if you see what other people are doing on LinkedIn, sometimes flattery, imitation is the best form of flattery. So sometimes if you see certain posts is getting a lot of interaction, and if you feel that you could replicate that and it being sustainable, doing that as well could be a good option, to do that, so, it could be anything different, you know what I mean? Any little thing, like I'm looking at here, let me see if I share something here, which was kind of interesting. Let me take a look here, let me bring it up. 110, I think here it is.
I'll just say that the reason I know Christopher is through networking Zooms, and he's already helped me out with a pretty significant referral. So, Christopher, I appreciate that. I'm still working with those gentlemen on the solar project. But that's good. If I hadn't met him, a Happy Neighborhood Project, I wouldn't have gotten that. I wouldn't have had the resource that Christopher's been to help out. So I appreciate that.
Anything I can do to help. I was happy that I knew somebody who knew the person that I needed to connect you with to get it done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, and before I show what I'm going to say, I think that I was asking folks before, and I could probably bring it up before. Let me bring it up. That make better sense. Give me 1 second. I had a question recently asking folks, now that we're dealing with COVID, what are the things that we're doing now differently, if that's even a good way to describe it, that you weren't doing before to stay relevant and network with folks on LinkedIn? And I even created a post because we did an event recently. It's called Linked Lunch. So in that event, I was asking folks what their opinion on that. Let me see if I can actually bring it up here. And it was a post.
I did things totally different.
What'd you say?
I did things totally different. I quit my job, went and did something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Here it is. Let me bring it up here. So this is the post that a poll that I submitted, and I was asking folks like, what are you guys doing differently now? And I was like, to improve your networking strategy. Out of 12 people that voted, most of them, like what Kenya said, engaging with more content. That was the thing that they talked about, that they were doing, and they felt that it was doing, it was working in the right direction. The closest thing after that was joining more networking events, which is very similar to what we're doing right now. And then lastly, working the DMs. Now, and what I mean by working the DMs is, after you send a message, find a way to engage with them other than just let it just be dormant. So let me see if I bring up something here. Go ahead. Someone had something to say? Okay. Let me bring up something here that I share with you. So this person, I did the proverbial happy birthday, and she did the proverbial thanks for your wishes. That's typical, But then afterwards, I just sent the video saying, hey, letting her know I wished her happy birthday and a little bit about myself. And then lastly, I have this thing called Setmore, which my boy Chris has Canely. And I just sent in the video, I said, hey, let's connect if you like, and we could talk how we could mutually find ways to ensure that our connection is mutually beneficial. And then lastly, I created a post some time ago just talking about who I am in a nutshell, and it lists the different podcasts or live events that I have, and then essentially what I do for a 9 to 5. So that's something that I just have on the ready that I post or I share with folks. Now, do everybody respond to that? No, But the fact is, that's a behavior that I do every single time. So if I see someone that has a new role or a promotion, I'll click on it, send it to them, the classic response. Once they respond back to me, then I'll follow up either with a voice message or a video message. And typically what I say is something to this effect. I'm sorry that I sent you that generic message. I'm sure you understand I did that because if you send something on LinkedIn, it could take days or maybe never getting a response. So I'm thank you very much for responding. And then if it's their birthday, I'm like, hey, happy birthday. I'm glad that you're having a great birthday. I wish you had the best birthday weekend ever. In the meantime, when you get a chance, take a look at my profile, see what I'm doing. Love to see if we can connect and see how I can help you promote what you are passionate about. I'll send you a link to my calendar. Pick what day and time works best for you, and I'll send you a link of the different LinkedIn lives that I do. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, let me know someone in your network that I can help. Again, thank you very much for being connected with me, and take care and happy birthday. And you do that every single time. So I know exactly what I'm going to say, and it flows easy. But now the key thing is the way that works is twofold. You never know who they know. They might be opening up a business so I can provide trash service. Or they just might passively find one of my LinkedIn lives and tune in, jump, and join the conversation, or end up sharing my LinkedIn live with someone else because I engage with them on the DMs. So it's almost like it's the thing that reciprocity. When you do nice things to people just want to do it nice back. So those are the things that if you do that enough, and mind you, I do actually enjoy doing that. So it helps that, I really want to make sure people have a happy birthday. So just small things like that can make a big difference. So it connecting with folks, engaging with their content, joining more networking events like what Chris and Christopher said, and working the DM. So now, Christopher, what have you been doing differently now to augment what you normally did before when it comes out to networking? Now that we can't go out and shake hands like we used to.
So I'm in like 6 hours a day. I'm in networking meetings. I am across the country every chance that I get because it's not necessarily who you know. It's all about who they know, because even if they never do business with you, they might know somebody who needs your service or needs the thing that it is that you do. Like I said, before COVID, I was an assistant manager at a garage. I didn't have to network. I didn't have to do anything. They all came to me. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. It was, hey, I'm coming here for tires. Okay, cool. You want 4? You want 2? You want an alignment? You want to do some brakes? Some shocks and struts in there? Yes or no? All right, cool. Done. It's a destination. You know what I mean? But now I have to recreate the destination, but instead of the destination being a physical location or a place to go, that destination is me as a person.
Yeah, I mean, and you do a lot of that. Now, I know Chris, he's in sales just like I am, and he's dealing with folks on a regular. What have you been doing differently now since COVID, better yet? I mean, I know networking is going to be top of mind for you because you and I are part of the similar networking channels as well. But outside of that, what are you doing differently now to keep your funnel full with the right clients?
Well, there's definitely a prioritization that's occurring, because networking is extremely important in all circumstances. But now it's actually, in a way, it's become more efficient. Christopher probably attests to this. He can Zoom all over the world, and be in different cities a lot faster than you can get on an airplane. And so I factored that in. As far as I'm saving the time there, and I factored in how I can make sure I have better conversations with people. Most of the telephone conversations I have are 30 minutes plus. When I'm having a one-on-one with somebody, and I think beforehand it was probably 5-10 minutes tops. Very rarely did you go beyond 20 minutes talking to somebody on the phone. Now it's like, let's get in depth, let's really talk, figure out what's going on. Because you're not, quite honestly, since you're not having those face-to-face conversations anymore, a a lot of the conversations I have were augmented by Zoom. So it's over the phone, but maybe we'll share a screen. We'll share some information. Like today, there's another gentleman I met through the Happy Neighborhood Project, but we sat down and I crafted a message for him on LinkedIn that I'm going to send out. Actually, I already sent it out, but I sent it out to every dentist I was connected with. And the reason I did it is he's trying to reach the dental community. And so I crafted the message. He looked at it. He said, "That looks pretty good. How about you move and change this around?" And I did. And then I'm just helping him with reaching out to some folks that may help his business. And the only reason I'm doing it is because I'd like him to be able to hire some more people. You know, he has his little B becomes a big B. And then all of a sudden there's more jobs out there. So I'd much rather have that. And Kendi, I'll put you in touch with him. He might need some help, because he needs to hire people. It's a virtual thing for him. It's not I need to hire somebody to come into the office. I need to hire somebody around the country to help him out.
Right.
So those are two pivots. Just the fact that the virtual nature of the networking is changing, and then the job creation piece is also evolving. Where if Google says they don't need you in the office, you can go to the Himalayas with a good Wi-Fi connection and check in when you need to check in.
So, Kenya, what are you thinking? What are you doing differently now when it comes down to networking and even just, how things, I know your scenario is a little bit different than us three because essentially we're, Christopher's dealing with connecting with people, soliciting opportunities. Chris and I were in sales, so our day-to-day a little bit different than yours, but I'm sure still your operations have changed drastically, so I'm just curious to know, what are you doing? I know you say you're doing engaging with more content, but outside of that, what are you also doing to augment your typical, your usual response or approach?
It's still, when I'm just kind of, similar to yours, but I don't have which I'm going to steal that, a message that's already formatted. So that will save me a lot of typing. But, whenever I connect with someone, I respond to every single person when they accept my connection. I respond and I let them know and I tell them thank you for connecting with me. And if I can be of any help, I don't care if you are a student or you could be a CEO. I might know someone that you may know or you may want to know. So I let them know, like, hey, if I can be of any help to you in any way, please let me know. And then I just start that conversation. And for me, right, as I stated before, I'm actually engaging more than I have in the past. I would just connect and that would be it. I would just keep going, keep moving, and probably do nothing else after that. I'm like, okay, fine. So you're now a connection for me, but that's great. But what am I doing with it? Before I did nothing with it. Now I'm just being engaging and starting conversations is definitely more than I was doing before, and joining groups, different networking groups. Didn't expect to be live on your show today. So that's another thing different.
There you go. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
But, but just literally just getting out of my comfort zone and being open to, networking things that I see online. And like, okay, well, let me listen in and what can I learn from that? And outside of the hours that I spend at night doing my studies, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to connect with as many people, but it's not necessarily pure selfish reasons. Yes, I would like a new career, but it's just to be able to build a network because it may not help me, but it might help somebody that I know that's looking for something. So just trying to build that because it's all about not necessarily, like Chris said, not who I know, but it might be based on who I know, like somebody that I know that knows somebody that knows somebody could help you. So
that makes perfect sense. And I'm glad you shared that. And I'm going to take a look at the comments. I know we got some folks that share some comments. So I want to take a look at Coach Erica. What's going on? Something... funny?
You and your
Okay.
filters, Chello.
I don't know what's going on here. I'm the little B right now. You know what they talking about the big. I'm the
Yeah,
I'm the little B right now. Okay. So
absolutely.
let's take a look at Coach Erica. Coach Erica is talking about first you need to examine your life to see if there are areas where you are racist. So she's pulling me back in. Hold on. Oh, I'm still a little B. So she's pulling me back in now. So, yeah, but it's very true. I guess you have to definitely assess that. And Coach Erica, stop a yapping. Once you get on and join us on the live stream, you see the comments. I put it on the. You could join us. Yeah, and allow racism to flourish. So I get definitely understand that. Every day I'm hustling. She's talking about. You know what? What I'm thinking that she was talking about. I also put a video about, I think it was last week, and I was listening, I'm just driving, and the song came out, Every Day I'm Hustling from my dude, Rick Ross. Everybody know Rick Ross. So, and when I heard that, because, we're in sales and we're hustling, I'm like, I'm just like doing things on a regular basis. I just wasn't sure if people felt the same way, if they needed to start hustling, doing things a little bit different, join a different team, whatever it might be. So I'm just curious to know what you guys are doing. Maybe even grow a beard, who knows? Whatever it might be. But the fact I put a video and people got really geeked up, and so I put that out there. So she was commenting on that. Let me see. I got another LinkedIn user that talked about. Let me see it. Let me see this comment. This is Chad's comment. So Chad says, anyone interested in needing help with social media, please contact me. So yeah, so the guy, his name is Chad Phillips. If you're on LinkedIn Live or LinkedIn, you can connect with them. You can see the comments in LinkedIn. But if you're watching this on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, you won't be able to see it. So, Chad, do me a favor. Put a link to your website. Type in your name, your telephone number, email address, and so people can see that, and I'll bring it on the screen. So, let's take a look here. Let me take that away. And now, I was going to ask you guys this. Let me see. Someone say that they're from New York City. Oh, we got Deborah. Deborah's all the way from Toronto. So, thank you very much. Oh, yeah, Deborah, you got also... Your settings, it doesn't allow me to post it. Like whenever I click on it, it just says LinkedIn user. It doesn't allow me to share it outside, but I had to go into LinkedIn. But now let me ask Christopher. So now Christopher, I know that Deborah said that she's engaging with more people after connects with them. So what's your approach now after you connect with someone? What are you doing now that you didn't do before?
Setting one-to-one meetings, to be totally honest. Before, I had no idea what I was doing. I had a meeting link in my CRM, didn't know what it was, didn't know how to use it. Figured out how to make it work for me. So now that, I get connections, and then it's usually there's a short dialogue, and I'm like, hey, there's some synergies here. We should set up a one-to-one. Here's my meeting link. Pick a time that works for you, because then I don't have to think about what times I have available or what time slots. It's just they can go to my calendar, they can pick a day, they can pick their own time, whatever works best for them. So then we can make the magic happen.
Mm-hmm. No, I like that. What do you? Let me ask that lady in the background what she's doing with LinkedIn. I gotta ask her right there what she's doing. She just walked by and get her point of view. Now I'm just messing around. Chris, so now after you connect with folks now on LinkedIn. What's your approach now? What are you doing differently now that you weren't doing then?
I do a lot of more reach outs, actually. People put in their contact information in LinkedIn, and if I see a phone number, I call it.
Mm-hmm. I've got
it's one of those things, and it's the same thing you do with your message. If I don't get a hold of them, I just leave them a thank you. Thanks for a lot for connecting on LinkedIn. Hope we get to engage better at some point in the future. And then I'm big on the social selling concept.
Yep.
And it's like educational TV. It's it's not quite always educational, but with social selling, the whole intent of it is not to sell, but to educate people to the point where they want to reach out back to you. So they feel like you've given them enough information, enough of a knowledge base that now they have questions. And so they reach out to you with questions versus you reaching out to them with questions.
Well, I got to ask you this now. I'm thinking about doing social selling a little bit different now. I know that in the past, what I've done is,
I don't know.
let's say, for instance, if I'm working with someone or I want to work with someone, I will create posts that I believe will resonate with them. Unless they like, they like some pork, maybe that might be the case. I forget about that. All right, so.
Let's look on a pig there, buddy.
That was a really scary Peppa Pig.
That was freaky.
Yeah, no.
That was freaky. I thought you were going Lord of the Flies on us or something.
Does that mean I have to be the fat kid that falls off the cliff because I have asthma?
No, don't worry about it. We're getting back to reality.
Okay.
So, but what I'll do is that, let's say, for instance, if I wanted to connect with Kenya, and she's, I send a connection request, I'll start knowing what she might be interested in, or maybe her industry or the company that she's interested in. What I'll do is research that company and post or create posts around that subject. So, for instance, if once she actually looks at my profile, because I send her a connection request, she'll see the different posts that I've written or posts that I've shared. Or I might come up in her stream or in her feed because I could put a specific hashtags that chances are, or tag certain companies that she might be following. So that's another way that you can find ways to connect with people that you want to connect that they haven't made a connection with, or in this case, like if you're in sales, write articles that resonates with your ideal client or prospects. So given that said, now turn it all the way around. If you're looking for work and you want to work for a specific industry or company, then either writing or sharing topics in that industry could put a spotlight, could put a flashlight on you. So that might be something to consider. Or if you see something that might be that could resonate with a hiring or recruiter, you could actually find something that makes sense. And if you know the recruiter's name, you could tag them to that article and, get their insight, and you could pull them in that way. So I've known people to do that, and they've found some good results. Good results, so much so that they actually got hired within the organizations that they wanted to do. And I've seen this done numerous times. So
I agree with you, Chello. That's the same social selling principle. You're putting out information that then people want to learn. They dig more. So They might look at that one post you make, and then they see everything else that Chello's doing and saying, that's why I want to know Chello.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just cocktails for Chello. He's coffee with Chello.
Oh yeah,
he's linked lunch.
Link lunch.
And by the way, he put out an awesome video about how to do a green initiative, right? To help residents figure out a way to get engaged. I love that, dude.
Thank you.
So I saw that video, and I'm like, I'm all about promoting Chello on this, because you're helping people.
Yeah, you make a good point. And when I did that, Chris, I wasn't thinking about you specifically. I was thinking about, let me just be honest. I really wasn't really thinking who I was going to be reaching. I just knew that this was something that I knew people that I will be doing business with would need to know this. Mm-hmm. So I was in a scenario. I said, let me just capture this moment, because then I could share this over and over again rather than repeating it. And then at this point, if I meet someone tomorrow with the same scenario, I can say, you know what, and actually provide proof, aka social proof, that I've already experienced this. then it sets myself apart from someone else. And the same thing applies if you're looking for work. If you have other information that supports why they should hire you, aka social proof, then it's easy for you to share it. And the reason why I bring that up is that, let's say, for instance, you and I, Kenya, if you find something that you are passionate about or a specific topic you want to talk about that can help you from other applicants within a company or an organization that you want to work at, let's talk about that offline, and we could have a LinkedIn Live conversation. It could be anywhere between 10 to maybe a half an hour. And now, next time you interview with someone and you say, hey, and you send your follow-up email, after you say, hey, thank you very much for meeting up with me, you could put in the PS saying, PS, I had a conversation with Marcella Arcele via LinkedIn, and I was talking about my philosophy, my point of view, my take on this role, and I want to share this with you. Chances are our other applicants will not be doing that. Oh, not as many. Maybe some applicants probably did a YouTube video and share it in the follow-up, but still, that's not something that people are doing on a regular basis. So I challenge you to consider that, Kenya. If there's something that you're considering or something that you're going to be focused on, maybe we could have a discussion on it. So then next time you meet someone, gosh, let's think about even the recruiter, and you sit down, you're talking to someone about the job, you can say, you know what, hold on a second. What's your cell number? Okay, I'm going to send you a text. It's going to have a link to our conversation that's talking about this very subject. I did a LinkedIn Live, and it talks about that, and it's going to support why I'm going to be the right person for this job. Go ahead. What's your next question?
I love it.
I mean, come on.
That's right,
I love it. I love it.
See, I'm in sales, so I'm always trying to find different ways to set myself apart.
I love it.
So consider
Don't worry, I'll be in touch.
and mind you, and what I recommend you to do, think about this. You can even do it, record the video, and if you like the video enough, upload it to LinkedIn and do it that way, and then and get people's opinions of the video, and you can use that as what I just talked about. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Kenya, I might have something that might be worth looking at as well, and I would be more than happy to talk to you more about that offline too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Awesome. Oh, I see that Ms. Hammond, she's supporting what I'm talking about, social proof. That's so strong. You have to put that out, and you have to continue putting it out. If you see something that makes sense and supports your initiative, put it out. So then when you see a scenario that makes sense or it connects, you can easily go to LinkedIn, go to YouTube, get the link and say, hold on, let me send you this information, or let me share this with you. And like what you said earlier, Kenya, that you said that you liked that post that I did. The reason why I did that is because I kept getting questions. Okay, so what do you do? What are you about? Tell me more about yourself. I mean, I even, at one point, I even did an intro video. I'm not sure most of you guys do know about this. And this is what I recommend you to do as well. And I can even share it with you. Let me bring it up right here. We had an event called Linked Lunch several weeks back, actually last week. And in that event, it was very similar like this, a networking event. And I challenged people to create an intro video. Mind you, the intro video was not an idea I created. It was an idea that came from a lady named Cher Jones here on LinkedIn. And she challenged other people to do the same, to create their an intro video. And let me see if I can bring up. Here we go. So the event that we have is called Link Lunch. So with that event, I tell folks, once you share your intro video, oh, we got Coach Erica's in the house. Watch out. Hold on a second. Coach Erica is in the house. What's going on? I'm going to bring up the video that I was talking about so you can see what I mentioned. So this is the event that we had last week. It's called Link Lunch. So this is how we wrapped it up. I was telling folks thank you. But again here I'm like asking folks to put their their intro video, but let me actually back out of this and connect to it again so I can actually get the audio. So give me 1 second. Let me see if we got it now. Okay, here we go. So let me bring it up. So now that's one. So these are different videos. Hey! Whoa, hey, what do you know?
My name is Kendi. I'm an ambassador with the National Association of Local Businesses. And I wanted to take a second and thank Marcello for the excellence in motion that he is and that he strives to be every day. And I want to let you know that if you need anything for your business, give me a shout. Let's have a conversation. I am your concierge of business solutions.
See, short and sweet. You know, you like that. That's me over here yapping. But so there's another lady, Edie Clark. She's outstanding. Look what she's did.
Video and YouTube strategist, and I help established entrepreneurs with a purpose and a message use videos in order to reach their ideal audience. Now, who are established entrepreneurs? Typically for me, they are coaches, trainers, strategists, consultants, and some speakers. And they use me or hire me in order to help them create videos for their business because that's not their strong suit. They would rather spend their energies on what they are an expert at and what they really know is their genius zone. And then they would rather outsource or have someone else virtually helping them with the actual creation of the videos. So I work with them remotely and I help them create their videos, and then I edit those videos for them and manage their YouTube channels if they need me to do that. So I look forward to meeting everyone and learning more about what you all do tomorrow. And thanks again, Marcello, for inviting me to participate. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, so this it's so simple. Just something short and sweet. And these other folks that posted their videos as well. I mean, this guy's all the way from India. And this is a gentleman, he posted it on YouTube, but he posted the link here. Another gentleman, this guy's, he's very creative. This guy, Billy, he doesn't speak good English. Look at him, but he still did it.
Launching LinkedIn tomorrow, this event for networking. It is a pleasure to meet everyone tomorrow. I'm Carlos with Wellness and Benestar. What is what we do? We help others with total wellness coaching. We do in the nutrition way, and we do in the financial for the ones who wants to generate, extra side of income, side hustle, focusing in sales. That's what we do. And the other side, it is coach people either and to have results and solutions for better health, or and the other side is the people wants to.
I mean, I just want to show that because at the end of the day, regardless if English is not your first language, this guy's from Brazil, same thing. And what I do it here, Michael, and this is the intro channel. So let me show you. This is how it all got started.
That was because you missed my Just Us Share Live episode, but that's okay because I'm here to catch you up. So basically what it is, go figure, it's a video challenge that allows you to introduce yourself to your network. Sounds easy peasy, right? Well, basically all I want you to do is in about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes tops, don't need to talk anybody's ears off. What you're going to do is introduce yourself to your network. Let people know how you can help them. Because when you know people and people know what you do, success will find you. And I wish you all the success in the world. Don't forget to use the hashtag intro video challenge and also tag me in it if you want me to see it. I may just feature it in my next episode of Just Ask Share Live. What I'm doing is I'm just going to model how you can do it, meaning I'm not going to do any fancy editing. I just want you to get up in front of your camera and create your own intro video. That being said, if you want to do anything fancy, it's all good. You can do that too. All right. So here's mine. And then after, I want you to create yours. So here goes.
Social media has completely changed the way we do business. Think about it. You look somebody up before you take their phone call, respond to their email, do business with them because you want to know more about them. But when people look you up, what does your profile say about you? As a corporate social media trainer, I work with leaders, corporate professionals as well as B2B entrepreneurs, and I help them develop a powerful personal brand for business online. So what does that mean exactly? Well, first we start on LinkedIn, and I help them articulate what it is they do and how they've helped people. So when you look them up, you know exactly what they can do for you. In addition to that, I teach them how to use social media in a way that makes sense for the business that they are in. So also the role that they are in. So you're not wasting your time online. And then finally, it comes down to, well, what are you going to share? What type of content are you going to build? And what type of network do you need to do business well? I work with all different types of professionals. I have an entire corporate social media training program. So I come in, I train teams, but I also work one-on-one. And if you haven't met me yet, my name is Cher Jones, and I'm a social media trainer over at Socially Active Training. So I would love to meet. I hope this is a little bit of an introduction to who I am and how I can help you. But of course, I want to know more. So connect with me, DM me. Let's do it.
So that's what I do in a nutshell, but now I want to hear what you do. No editing required, just don't forget to use the hashtag intro video challenge. And then that's it. And if you want me to see it for sure, make sure you tag me in it. I cannot wait to see yours, and I look forward to your introduction.
See, that was pretty easy, and so I can't stress it enough. So I used that, and when we did our link lunches, we challenged people to do their intro video because, as I showed you in that event page, so I create the event page and I invite people to join the event. So every single day there's something different that I'm asking folks to do. So in doing so, one time in the beginning, I'm asking, hey, do the intro video. Next day, do the intro video, and then something else. And you start seeing people little by little start adding the intro video, and there's networking before the event even starts. And the benefit to that is that sometimes not everyone could join the event because time doesn't permit for them to do the live event. Like you and I, not everybody could join Cocktails with Chello at 9:30 in the evening Eastern Standard Time, but you could do an intro video, and you could. So that's the key thing. So I recommend all people to do that. So let me bring my lady here, Coach Erica. Coach Erica, thank you very much for joining us. Don't be shy. So let me. So now the other thing we talked about, the intro video. Now, Christopher did his intro video. Chris Whitmire, have you done your intro video?
You're calling me out. No.
Yeah. Mind you, it's not too late. That's the best part. It's not too late. I mean,
I need Coach Love to help me.
Coach Love needs to help you with she needs to give you encouragement, or she needs to give you some love.
How you doing?
Hey, Erica, good to see you. How you doing?
Can you see me? Okay, good.
Yeah, we see you. I know you got the multi-camera setup. I was like, okay, what's going on over here? But Miss Coach Love is she's going high tech on us. So. Coach Love, thank you very much for joining us. Won't you take a few moments and tell us about yourself? Tell us what you do on LinkedIn, and essentially why should somebody connect with you?
Oh my God, look at that.
In under 20 minutes.
I have a whistle to blow at you.
Yeah, go right ahead. But can you share with folks?
You know what? I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing.
Okay. That's fine. We'll come back to you. Let me know when you're ready. Just raise your hand, and then we'll go from there. So now, Kenya, what are you thinking about? What would you say? Let's say, for instance,
I'm hearing you. I got two things going on. I got two things going on, and I'm not sure about my hookup. I'm talking over myself right now.
Mute
whatever
LinkedIn
the
stream.
other camera that you got set up, you might want to turn that off,
and mute the LinkedIn stream.
Correct. And I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. You're welcome. I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. Everyone is on the panel. If you can, bring up a separate tab, and you can see the different comments because people are commenting on the live stream, so you can engage with them there as well. So definitely recommend that. And then if you want to share or you want to tag somebody, that you think that they can find this valuable, like how Christopher did earlier. He was tagging a young lady named Christine to join us. That's something you could do as well, so let folks know about the event. And then lastly, share the event. You can share the event now live or share it as a replay for folks to take a look at that. Are you with me now, Coach Love? Not yet. Okay. So Kenya, so now let me ask you this. I guess when it comes down to it, if this is the classic question, and I'll ask everyone. So I'll start from the Chris Whitmire because he's a professional salesperson. Chris, tell me about you. Why should we hire you? What would you say?
Well, be honest, the way I help most clients, my best clients, is that I make sure that they make more money, and I know that I'm doing that through bringing in the resources that help them out in whatever business I'm in, and I want them to grow. So once they're a client, I'm trying to find a way for them to find additional clients, to need to hire additional people, to open up another location. That becomes my job. I mean, I know it's their job too.
Yeah.
But I really do believe in the growth of my clients, so that they're in a long-term way, they're successful and I'm successful.
That's perfect. I mean, I like that. I mean, you're customer focused always. And I saw Kenya's face earlier, and when I brought Chris in, she's like, "Oh gosh, this is what I'm telling you. I'm not sure if you know this. We breaking you down, Kenya, and then we're gonna build you back up. That's the key thing. Is that we have to push you outside of your comfort zone. You have to do it sooner than later. So these are the things that we talk about. Next thing you know, you're gonna. I wouldn't be surprised you probably watch this replay later and you'll be like, okay, I could have said this or I could have approached it differently. And quite frankly, I challenge you to do that, because then you can be like, okay, I could have had, my posture different. I could have approached it. I could have said this. So it's like basically this like game footage. They're talking about sports and you go back and watching different plays. You can watch this video and say, okay, how can I approach that differently? So now, Christopher, tell me about you. Why should somebody hire you?
Why should somebody hire me? Because I have the determination and the skill set and the aptitude to be able to help propel you to where you need to go. Whether you're a B and you need to be a big B, or you just want to maintain and be a healthy B. Yes, I stole it from you, Chris.
I love it.
I want you to know that your business and your well-being is what I'm all about, because it's not just about me and me making money from whatever I'm doing at the time. It's about how I can accelerate that business to get to their next level.
That's awesome. I like that. See, that's what I'm talking about. And mind you, in my role, I'm the trash guy. So I'm like, my name is Marcello Arcelé. I provide simple solutions for small to medium-sized customers, and I do that by completing a brief waste assessment to ensure that your current needs meet your current solutions. And then from there there's more script that I go into, but that's essentially what I do, and that's the elevator pitch. So those are the things you need to try to tune up, so with someone you can just put it pretty quickly and succinct. Mind you, I'm being watched by Coach Love, a.k.a. Coach Erica Love. So she's going to critique what I'm saying. She's a recruiting specialist. So it's perfect that she's here, because Kenya and Coach Erica, I was going to be doing an introduction later on, but I'm glad you're here because now you guys could connect. So Coach Erica,
Awesome.
So Coach Erica, why should somebody hire you for career coaching?
You know what? One of the first things that I like to do is I like to find out what the needs are, because I don't know if you should hire me. I don't know if I'm the right messenger for you. Everybody can't coach everybody. There are some famous coaches out there that no matter how talented Michael Jordan was, they couldn't be a Phil Jackson for them. So maybe you shouldn't hire me, and that's okay. Maybe I can introduce you to the right person for you. It's all about your talents, your skills, and your needs. And if I can help you elevate those, so maybe I can. You know, I'm pretty awesome. I'm pretty awesome, but I'm not God.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I was over here shaking around, excited because I say something similar to that when I talk to clients. Sometimes, they say if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, then quack, it must be a duck. But no, in this case, I often tell customers, like, you know what? I want to make sure we're a good fit. And sometimes things don't work out the first time, and that's fine. We can still be friends. And I mean it. I actually mean it. And then through the entire process, I try to find ways how I can help them without them buying my service. And you'd be surprised how often they say, you know what? No, I'd rather you help me, or even if they choose to go someone else because it's a lower price, I will hope that our exchange was remarkable enough that they might refer me to someone else to do business with me. So those are the things you can do. Those little small deposits. So
exactly. Sometimes I just need to be neighborly. And what do? We help our neighbors, right? Yep. So maybe I just need to help you to the extent that my expertise lends you success, and then move you on to the next person. I don't know. I have to interview the person to see if we're a good match.
That's true. So now, Coach Erica, Kenya, she's taken up 2 different courses. One is digital marketing, and what was the second one? That's the second course that you're taking?
It's hospitality and tourism.
I should have known that. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah. Do you know someone or different organizations that are needing individuals in those, facets?
I'm going to be very honest and just say a flat out no. I don't know anybody who's doing a whole lot of traveling except for this small little niche. I read a news report that said the motel industry was going crazy right now just because of the ease of getting to your room and not having to connect with people walking through a lobby or anything of that nature. And motels tend to be near campsites and things of that nature, and so that industry is just going crazy. So whatever talents that you have with the hotel industry, you can translate those over, whether it's booking the rooms, organizing the event, making sure that the person is at the right campsite, all of these different outdoor events. I would do that. If I was going on a trip and I was going to be outdoors, gosh, wouldn't it be great to see an outdoor concert while I was there? Or wouldn't it a movie? Or maybe you can hook me up with some travel equipment. So people are doing things right now. They're just doing it outdoors. And the last time I checked, it was really hard to get a pool. Just a regular outside pool. So if you could get some of that, like a package, and put it together, that's what I would do for people. I would make me a package and I would put it together, and I would just sell my package over and over and over again.
Well, she's going to school for that. What do you? I just thought about this right now. Is it possible for they even probably create faux packages? I mean, like, fake packages, and actually create, what she recommends someone could do now. Like, let's say, for instance, like even creating a video and talking about what her recommendation. Wow, it hit me. Let me get my thought across. Hold on. So let's say, for instance, okay, she can look at different trends in hospitality and travel. She could probably have a video she could post once a week and talk about, here are my Kenya kicks. This week, I see that Mexico is a hot spot right now. So-and-so is having, double accommodations for this price. You may want to look into it and start talking about that kind of thing. I just thought about that. But what do you think about that, Coach?
I love it. And I wouldn't just focus on hot spots because the hot spot is anywhere that's in driving distance from your home. So anywhere that's like 50 miles away from your home. And then, of course, these the national parks. So that's really good. If it were me, I would figure out what people use to travel when they are going away from their home. I might even call some vendors, work out some deals, and have people buying my package and saying, Kenya Kicks, here we go. Hi, this is this week's Kenya's Kicks, and this is what I have in the package for you to, this week is this. You have these great deals. And if you live in this particular area, you're going to get 50% off, but it's on a clock watch. I need you to get in touch with me in the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. And I would do that over and over and over for a whole bunch of different states. And I would put it out, and I'd make all my friends put it out.
Yeah. And mind you, a lot of these tips, you can sign up for different newsletters and you could aggregate what you want to talk about. So, you don't have to do a lot of the work. You can sign up to the different sources. Like there's a one that stands out. It's called, the guy name is Johnny Jett. And he has a great newsletter. He even has a paid one. But Johnny Jett, Google him. He has great tip, great advice. And what I mean by great tips, some of the tips he might have, it could be an article he wrote. So he might give you some ideas of what you want to talk about as well in a video. So
and then Labor Day is coming up.
I heard.
It happens every year, but for Labor Day, people are trying to just get away from home just a little bit. Put everything together in a package for them so that they don't have to be, creative for themselves. Just put it together in a package. They can buy your exactly.
Guys, I'm thinking about myself. Listen, my wife books our travel for our entire family. Mm-hmm. I mean, my family. Oh, look, Chris, the same way, Christopher. My family in Miami, Texas. Everywhere. Mm-hmm. My in-laws, they say, hey, we need to fly to so-and-so. Can you book it? Hey, how much you want to pay? Or like right now, my wife the other day said, hey, we were thinking about going to Savannah in a few months for our anniversary. But she just threw me a curveball. She said, what about going to Puerto Rico?
Ah!
Yeah!
I love
Let's do it. So she's going to be monitoring daily. She's really that meticulous. She's gonna monitor the different prices, and she's gonna make sure that we get the best price. That's something you could do. I think Google Travel. I think Google purchased Travelocity or some major Expedia. I'm not sure but they purchased a big company, and you can probably look it up. And Google, if you type in a certain travel destination, and you're going from this point to this point, they could give you prices of what they expect it to be on certain dates based on historical data. So it's kind of crazy.
Then, Kenya, everybody wants to know how clean everything is and all about the accommodations. So instead of letting, the website speak for itself, go out and look at the ratings that are on the website and just talk about it. These guys were just here on the 4th of July and they had their act together. I bet you they're going to be popping for Labor Day. Don't wait. Book now and, give them this code. Call ahead of time and whoever gives that code gives you, they'll get you some money. But so let them know I'm going to review your establishment. You don't pay me unless somebody uses the code. Yeah.
I love it. No, what I was thinking about, even some of the ones that you can't travel, if you find, a destination that you might find pretty exotic, this is a shot in the dark, but it can happen. But you can reach out to some of these resorts that are open. Like I saw a commercial the other day that Sandals is open. So could you reach out to the folks at Sandals and say, hey, would your director of tourism would want to jump on a live call with me or a Zoom call and describe their facility, I'd like to let folks know about your facility here in the United States. Eventually, somebody's going to say yes, or you might have too many people that you're not going to have enough time to book it. Now you have all this content on LinkedIn that you're talking to people in these different destinations. I don't know about you, but you're hired.
Right. And look, I'm just going to bounce back and forth with Chello. Call some of these people. You see someone who posted that they had this trip, connect with them, and then talk about their trip. Have them on as a guest.
The actual guest.
Yeah, the actual guest, and just have them talk about their trip and their positive experiences. And, if it was the experience from, heck, well, then it is, people love horror stories. Let them tell it, and then bring that organization on and let them defend themselves.
Woo-hoo! Look at that.
That sounds like a boxing match to watch.
And this is awesome. Yeah, I know. Go ahead, Chris. Repeat that again.
I said that sounds like a boxing match to watch.
Right. Well, you want to know something? It's whatever they do, you cannot control. But Kenya, this is the key. You decide how you're going to show up beforehand. And so you are going to help navigate the situation. So somebody says, oh, it was crappy. They didn't have my reservation. They didn't have this. And then you actually get the company to come on and they say, oh, that's really how we do things. We're so sorry. And you get to say, you know what, guys, this is a perfect time for us to kiss and make up. How would you like to give them a free night for their next trip? Oh, okay, it's great. All right, here's another win on Kenya's trips, blah, 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 blah. Awesome, keep it moving. So you get to be the person who brings about solution. It was all on air. That speaks to your character and your personality. It's documented for everybody to see. And then you get to bring in the next one. And maybe the next thing is all a glowing event. And you can say you heard it here first. This is where you book. So whatever they say, it's fine with you.
Yeah. And mind you, the best part about this is that what we're talking about, this is hospitality. But this applies in any and every industry.
Right.
Meaning that I'm in the trash business. I'm in the environmental solutions industry. So I could talk to my customers, interview them. I could interview industries or other subject matter experts in that industry. I could interview customers that I've already had a relationship for a long time and ask them why they decided to go with me, or vice versa. But yeah, it applies in any industry. I mean, I think about it like in Christopher, he's the matchmaker. So he could interview people that he made a match for. He say, hey, before connecting with me, you were looking for this. Obviously, you may want to script it and set up the questions we're going to ask. It's okay. Now that I connect you with Kenya, how do you feel that connection was? Did it really speak to who you was looking for? And then now it just speaks to your, ability to match people correctly. So, no, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, Kenya, there's a lot of different things you could do with this. You could just, you know what? I would just say, really look at your skill set and then, go for it. Make it about your gifts. Invite people into your skill set is what I'm trying to say.
Got it.
So whatever that is, whatever you do well, just invite people in and then let it flourish because you already have the ingredients.
Love it. This has been so helpful.
Awesome, man.
So what are you thinking about? What do you go? I know. I think I saw you taking notes there. So what do you? What's your takeaway from what we've been talking about?
Well, yes, you saw me taking notes, but that was also me writing down Christopher's name, Chris's name, Coach Love's name, so that I can actually connect with them after. Because, like I said, it's about connecting and having those conversations, and just literally writing down all the ideas that you guys had. Because it's a thought, and so now my brain is just it's just kind of spinning like, okay, all right, like, that sounds possible. That sounds okay. Because even if it's something that, as I'm looking for my next career move, this starts off small and it could just be bigger, and that's great, and that's awesome. So, so for me right now, just looking at possibilities.
Awesome.
Open up.
I like that. I'm quite happy to think that you might have came in, let's say out of 1 to 10, you could have been an 8 coming into this call. You're probably at 9.3, so I feel good, I mean? So I'm glad that, you just want to give you a different perspective. So I'm glad that it worked out. So now, Chris Whitmire, what are you thinking about what we've been talking about? Because you've been in the bleachers. Just I wanted to know what's your take on that.
Chris has just been smiling.
I know.
I just love Coach Erica. I think she's awesome. She's a
Right back at you.
Yeah, I can't throw hearts out here. I got to get on the other stream. But no, man, she always has such spot on advice for folks. It's always so encouraging. So I just love hearing her. That's why I'm just listening. This is awesome.
Oh, well, thank you. Right back at you.
Yeah, she does give great advice, and I'm glad that Coach, you was able to come on the call because it works. I know the last time one time I had you on a call, there was another young lady that she was also looking for work, but she was not as she didn't have a playbook as Kenya has. So when you was asking her questions, she really didn't have the right answers, or she wasn't as prepared as Kenya. So I'm glad you was able to be here and connect with Kenya, and I'm sure you guys are going to have an opportunity to develop you guys' relationships.
Kenya has the key because if you want me to buy something from you, you have to know what it is. It's hard for me to hire you to do something if you don't know what you do. So if you don't know what sports you play, I can't put you on a team. So you at least have to know what it is that you do. Right. So that was the trouble with our last young lady. Someone said she didn't know her why. I have to say she didn't know her what. Mm-hmm. You can do something. You have to know what that is first, and then why do you like to do what you do? I can help you. I can search that out for you. But if you basically just want to stay home, that's not going to work out.
No, that's not in my DNA.
Right. No. Right. You are the opposite of that. You have something that you're passionate about, and you're studying. You're studying it while in your downtime. So you are in action mode. Not only are you focused on outcome, but you're focused on process, and it takes that to be successful. Yeah. So you're on point.
And part of it is, before you came on, as I was telling the guys, that once you go through that whole cycle, mentally, through this whole process of, losing your job, not because of your performance, because it's like you didn't lose it because of something you did. You lost it. I lost it because of, unfortunately, the circumstances of COVID. So, and once you go through that whole process emotionally and all the whole roller coaster, and you finally like, okay, that's fine. All right, so what are we going to do? Are we just going to sit here and wallow and be depressed? And I don't know how to do that. I've never done it. So, and I always give myself a day. You get one day. You get one day to cry, scream, yell. Is the problem still there? Yes, it's still there. So what are you going to do? You get one day. You get 24 hours. Whatever that whole 24 hours, it can start at 2 a.m. to the following 2 a.m. You get 24 hours to wallow. And after that, now get up and do it. And so that's one thing. But for me, it's just like when it's like, what's your why and what's your what? And what's your, what motivates you? And to me, what motivates me is I have a grandmother who's still alive, who's 109 years old.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
She's still here. And that is so when someone asked me recently during an interview like, what motivates you? My grandmother motivates me. It's not money. It's not. My grandmother, who's 109, motivates me because if she could do it, I can do it. She's lived through every possible situation in 109 years that I never thought that I would go through. I never thought I would protest. I never thought I would be doing some of the things that she had to do, but she survived it. So I know that I stand on her shoulders and my nieces and my nephews, and I'm a mentor. My mentees stand on my shoulders. So I can't stop. So that's my why. My why is my motivation of my ancestors and those before me and my youngsters after me. So my why is I'm passionate, but I'm passionate about life. I'm passionate about striving to do better and helping people on my journey. So that's my why.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I tell you this much.
I'm with you.
I love your passion. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I wish I was on Zoom right now. I could hit that reaction and it just brings up that thumbs up and
yeah.
in the corner. You guys ever use that on Zoom? The reaction option?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I appreciate that. This is a great. Yeah, there you go. Somebody's on the live feed is giving me claps. So yeah, letting me know if you guys like what Kenya shared. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart. Give me curious. Give me something there. Let me guys know. And if you guys watching us live, let me know in the hashtag Team Live. And if you're watching on replay, let me know on the replay. Basically, we talked about a lot of stuff today, guys. We talked about Oprah Winfrey's new show, about her first show and the topic about anti-racism. To be honest with you, guys, we skirted the issue, because we don't really know much about the topic, or I don't. And we didn't know much about the episode that we was talking about, so we didn't really dig deep on that. Then we started talking about what we're doing now differently when it comes down to networking that we didn't do then. And we talk about different steps, like, either working your DMs, engaging in more content, or just joining more networking event, and also engaging more content and DM. Those are the three that we talked about. And we talked about different strategies. And then lastly, before the most recently, we talked about creating an intro video and how that can set yourself apart when it pertains to other folks in the industry here on LinkedIn, and especially when people connect with you and they see that, you can send that to them. And mind you can send them the video. I recommend you to do the intro video and send it to them in a DM, but then send them a follow-up email. Say, hey, thank you very much for connecting, but I just want to send you this video that talks about who I am. Maybe it's almost like you qualify that before you send it, because I know many people have received some of these, hi, thanks for connecting blank person, and it's not as personal, but if you send something before or after, that can make a difference. So definitely recommend that. And then lastly, us as a team, us collectively, we started giving advice to Kenya on her future tourism and travel career, and how she can do things differently, and how she can start making money. Who knows? I'm not sure if you get a license to book travel, you could probably start doing it today. I don't really know the semantics on that, but either way, I think I need a cut. So let's say that.
Well, I think I can give you and Coach Love a cut.
Yeah,
and then
we'll do promo code.
I'll give a really good deep discount to Chris and Christopher.
Promo code Coach.
There you go. Hey, Chello, I want to plug my hashtag Epic Understanding. And
please, and put it in the comments as well. Let me put you full screen and tell us about that.
Okay, so you were talking about earlier becoming an anti-racist, and that's one of the things that we talk about on hashtag Epic Understanding. Basically, what it is about, it is water cooler talk that means something. So we talk about everything that's going on in the media right now, what's going on with our nation, and you cannot talk about what's going on in our nation without talking about racism and anti-racism. What is that about? It's about being intentional regarding examining your own behavior, examining your life, including your friends, and seeing where am I racist and where are they racist? Where have I marginalized or taken advantage of so that's a good start. One of the hashtags or no questionnaires that we had was, is any area in your life segregated? Right? That's a big question. And some of the feedback I got in my DM was, I never thought about that before, but I only go to church with white people, I don't see any black people after I go home. But and I work in my neighborhood. So it's not just black people and it's not just white people, but there are areas of the country where talk to anybody outside of their race at all. And Chris was saying earlier that we have to feel safe when we go anywhere in the country. Well, I'm just going to tell you that's just not so, even though we hope that to be the case. There was a young man recently, I don't know if you saw the video, but basically he went on a float trip with a couple of his friends and ended up almost getting lynched. And it's on camera. It's on camera. It's so shocking.
Wow.
Yeah, I am tired of being shocked about these kinds of things, but at the same time, I am glad that it's on film now so that we can stop denying it. We can stop hiding our secret of racial inequality, racial hatred in, the back room of our household of America.
Thank you. That's well said, and I'm looking forward to learning more about that. Do me a huge favor, if you can, do it on live. Put the link to put a hashtag and also any supporting content. In the meantime, I got my dude, Chad Phillips, is in the house. Before I bring Chad Phillips, he's on the screen, but I want to bring his intro video. He actually did one some time ago, and I'm going to play that for you guys so you can see. So I can intro him with the intro video.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Chad Phillips. I am the CEO and founder of 2020 NWS Elite. We are a social media and entrepreneur company. We focus on your social media goals. If you guys are new to social media, you build your company's social media, and if you're an entrepreneur, we help you to know how to use your entrepreneurial goals to get what you want and what you are looking for within your company or within your personal branding. So make sure to check us out, and we will see you very, very soon.
Yeah, it was kind of low. Chad, it looks like I lost Chad already. Is Chad back? We'll see. Oh, Chad is back. Chad is back in the house. What's going on? Chad, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem.
Hey, man, you look like you're growing a beard, buddy.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Hey, Chad, do me a favor. Like we always ask folks when they come on board, tell us a little bit about yourself, like a mini intro video, and why should folks connect with you here on LinkedIn?
Well, my name is Chad Phillips. If you guys don't know, I run my company called 2020 NWS Elite, where we help entrepreneurs, clients, and small businesses with growing their social media page. If new entrepreneurs are now starting out within business, we help them to grow their social media, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and to help them raise their aspects or their passion on what they want to do within their own business.
Hmm. Chad, I don't want you to look into the comments, but Senor Pesada was asking when he was watching the intro video that you did earlier that I
Right.
shared. He says he was asking if your parents was in the other room next door because your voice was so low. So they're like, okay, is it? So I don't know, but I had to tell him that you a soft spoken kind of guy. So that's what it is.
No, it's cause I really got my TV running right across from me, so I had to put in my headphones. So
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the intro video that I was sharing earlier. That's what it was. So,
yeah, I was soft spoken in that just a little bit. 'Cause it was nighttime when I was doing that video. So yeah.
Yeah, it's no worries, man.
But
So,
but in general, I'm more outspoken and more normal tone and stuff like that. But
so Chad, let me ask you now. I want you to give your impression about your intro video and how you feel how's it worked for you, because since you've done yours, I'm sure that you shared it with many folks several times, and
Right.
and also want to get your opinion about the different events you're part of. I say that because Kenya and Chris Whitmire is thinking about doing their intro video. So just wanted to
Okay.
get your take on how you feel the video has worked for you.
well, the video has worked for me in certain aspects of where people have messaged me and saying that they want to know more about how to do social media, how to do Instagram, how to gain traction on Twitter, how to make more content on LinkedIn because they're not getting that much traction. So I would give them tips and my insight on how they can gain traction and go forth as a entrepreneur and a content creator on LinkedIn and on other platforms.
Hmm. Yeah, and I could definitely attest to that. Now, I'll ask you the last question that we was asking earlier, and then we could wrap up a little bit because I know a lot of folks may have to, do something afterwards, or maybe go to sleep. That might be the case. But just curious to know, what are you doing differently now, Chad, that you weren't doing before COVID when it comes down to networking, and how are you doing things differently now after? So tell me what you're doing differently when it comes down to networking, and then I'll ask you a follow-up question after that.
Well, when it comes to networking, I'm more so, in a way, I connect with them. I get to know a little bit of their background, what they do, how they help people, and I would give them my impression and my intro, and then we can connect there, do business, and see what services they need from me, or what services or what services they can provide me as well. So it's a two-way street in a sense.
That's pretty good. All right. Now, the second thing I wanted to ask you is, after you connect with someone, what are you doing now that you weren't doing before COVID? So you click connect. 2 days later, or the same day you see you guys are connected. What are you doing now that is different that you weren't doing before COVID?
Well, what I would say is that if I connect with them, they message me, I would, and usually some of them would offer services, or some of them would just say no, because some of them do pitch services to me all the time, and I tend to work with them, or like 75% of them I would work with them and see where it goes. But usually some of them would just pitch and say, well, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? And they don't have no background. They don't have no experience within a certain field. So I would say to myself, should I actually connect with this person? you know.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. So now, I guess at the end of the day, not every connection is a good connection. So, I mean, I get your point.
Exactly.
No, I get your point. I mean, it could be 50-50. Mind you, the ones that I try to stay away from are those Bitcoin folks.
Oh,
you
God.
can't.
100%. I totally agree with that.
That's on my list for my epic understanding question, because Bitcoins are like the guys who are washing your windshield wipers on the
Yes.
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 What are you doing? I don't know. Don't wash my window.
I get at least 10 to 15 of those a day. So
wow.
I just deny. Because why would you want to offer me Bitcoin? And then they ask me, oh, do you know what Bitcoin is? I'm like, yes. And
So
usually those are the ones, they show up and they send you a message like, hi. And then, and then afterwards I realize what it was. And then I'll say something like, I'll send a voice message and I'll start it by saying, yeah, how you doing? And then I actually do that. Hey, how you doing? And then I'll stop it and see what they say. If they say something that has nothing to do with what I just said, I remove the connection right away. No. So,
oh wow.
Yeah.
So Chad, I am just dying to tell you this. When Marcello said that you were quiet, so soft-spoken, you said no, and you almost like denied a reality. And I want you to lean into who you are. And the fact of the matter is, you show up in the world soft-spoken. And when somebody says that to you, I want you to say something like, I know, I want people to listen closely when I speak.
Okay.
Right, because that's how you show up in the world. So you're a boss, man. You know what you're talking about. So
right.
Say, yes, that is true. And then when they say that, as a matter of fact, even if you're in a setting like this, say, come close. Make a move close to their video.
Right.
The next time I do this for you, I'm going to drop some knowledge and you're going to need to listen close.
Love it.
Coach Erica.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, we got folks in the comments already. Look at it. We got Coach Senor Pasad. Look what he's saying to Coach. 4 thumbs up. That's what she's talking about. Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. See, this is why we need a little bit of love in every live stream. Coach Love is in the house. That's awesome.
Gotta have that love.
Yeah.
I know there's all these best practices, and I love best practices because it tells us which parts of us we can lean into those particular best practices. But if speaking loudly, emoting, if that's not you, then make people fall in love with you being dry or you being quiet. There are a lot of very successful people who don't follow the regiment, the playbook. But what it is that they have something so special that people all of a sudden say, oh my God, he's so charismatic. And let me tell you something about Chad. When he talks, he speaks so quietly. I find myself being in a trance. They will find a way to love you if you got it going on.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Awesome.
See? That's what I'm talking about. See? Now, I wanted to get everyone's parting words and let folks know a little bit about you. Just almost reiterate what you shared early on the show. So let me start off from my top right all the way across down. So let me start with my dude, Christopher. So, Christopher, tell folks about you and tell folks about anything that you haven't shared about, better yet, what you have for dinner and what you have about to have dinner, anything.
All right, sure. So my name is Christopher Rouse, and I am an ambassador for the National Association of Local Businesses, and we offer over 100 top quality products and services at discounted rates normally reserved for much larger companies. Through our collective buying power, we assist small businesses to be more profitable, more productive, and more promoted to the target demographic. So I am your hashtag concierge of business solutions. For dinner, I had like this weird pizza mac with sausage. It was like a hamburger helper. It was strange. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. So I need to go to the store and grab myself a T-bone because I got some charcoal on my grill.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. See? All right, Kenya, you're up next. Go right ahead.
All right. Well, my name is Kenya Wilson, and I am a future. Well, after today, I'm going to future entrepreneur on the side.
I love it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to claim that. But I am going to be someone's next corporate career-wise marketer and actually senior marketer. We're not just going, we're going to be a senior marketer. That's right. That's my passion. I am a passionate marketing person who understands what it takes to help grow and add to someone's business. It's not about just revenue, but I know what it takes to keep customers happy, to keep staff happy, to just grow. And it's about growth. And so that's Kenya for the moment. So Kenya, who's growing and passionate about life and what she's doing in her next venture, which will probably be Kenya's Kicks. Is that
Hey.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, so Chris Whitmire, what's going on? Talk to us.
It's been a joy and a pleasure as always, Chello. And great meeting Kenya. Great meeting everybody, seeing everybody again. I'll just close it out saying I'm Chris, the B2B guy, and I like to help make the bees. I just want healthy bees flying everywhere making honey. I love it. And I'll tell you what I had to do tonight. It was funny. Because this is figuring out what you got, right? I saw a bag of tater tots, and I heated up some tater tots with sweet Italia onions.
No surprise there. How many bags of onions do you have at your place?
None. I sold them all. We sold 20,000 pounds of sweet Italia onions this year.
Wow.
Netted. I can't tell you how much we netted. I'll tell you that offline again.
Yeah.
But
wow,
we made the fundraiser survive.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. And I'm gonna leave Coach Erica for the last. So I bring on my dude right here. Okay, so Chad, I know you came in last, but you could share anything you haven't shared with us as of yet. People that are watching the stream that they need to know about you.
Well, one thing that if you guys need help with social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and especially LinkedIn for businesses that are now starting out, and you guys want to grow your business or your brand, you guys can feel free to contact me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that Kenya could definitely connect with you and pick your brain and get different ideas. I'm sure that she could.
Well, Chello. One thing about that, I wouldn't necessarily say pick my brain. You could send me a DM and we could chat, but like picking the brain is like such a I wouldn't say a non-hassle term, but people don't use that no more. People don't use that no more. Trust me.
No, and I'm glad you called me on that because I think about someone said to me some time ago, like, "Hey, let me get connected with you," and
so I can pick your brain.
Pick your brain. I said, you know what? Better yet, why don't you just let's get connected and we'll have lunch, or better yet, I'll pay you to meet with me. But I know what you mean because sometimes the term called picking your brain. If anything, you'll probably end up being left with half her brain because you'll be like, damn, I gave you everything.
Or no brain.
And you haven't given anything back to me. So I get where you're coming from. No, I'm glad somebody called me on that. So lastly, we got Coach Erica. Awesome, Coach Love. You see, Christina Johnson said, she said, awesome.
Right back at you.
So tell us. I know you said earlier. I saw the. Here we go. You got epic understanding. I have it on the screen as well. So go right ahead. Tell folks about you.
You know what, really what I want people to know today, if you are waiting for permission for you to be awesome, for you to be amazing, for you to use your talents, you just got it. And let me tell you also, you didn't need it. But since you were waiting for permission, you just got it. Go be awesome. Go be excellent. Go and use your potential and let it loose. You know, do not take it with you, because I'm gonna tell you, the people that you are supposed to help are here right now, and we need you. So we are ready for you. So I wanted to get that off my chest, and then I wanted to tell everybody to follow me at Epic Understanding. We are doing a lot of fun things on there. It's a lot of surveys, and I'm always asking you questions, but the reason why I'm asking you questions is because we collect data. Okay, and that particular data helps the community. You will be surprised the things that we come up with. A fun question, it's just a social question, but it's, have you ever upstaged your boss? Now, why do we ask that question? We ask that question because Dr. Fauci upstaged Donald Trump, and Donald Trump actually mentioned it. He says, what is his ratings doing higher than mine? Why do they like him better than me? He said, it must be my personality. Now, dang it, that's what he said. It's hilarious, but those, like I said, it's water cooler talk that matters, and we're asking pertinent questions, and hopefully, LinkedIn will let us have a live show going forward, and we can talk about those things and make it matter even more. Create an impact, right?
Yeah, and I know you and I have been bouncing back, trying to get together to do a different show, a different topic, not the same thing as this, but we've been wanting to get together because there's a topic that we talked about briefly, and I think I shared with you, and I'm not sure if I did, but if I haven't, there was a topic that I was considering called Let's Talk About Your Resume. And essentially what that is an opportunity to have folks like you, Coach Erica, and other folks like Kenya come on board and talk about their resume, talk about what they're looking for and what are they doing. Like with Kenya, she shared that she's going back to school for marketing and also hospitality and travel. So then we also have someone come on board that is an expert in that industry that can provide advice to make sure that they're going down the right path. And essentially even have a mock interview. And that's something I've been wanting to do for some time now, because then at that point, the reason why I bring that up is that a lot of us, and I can speak for myself, and even I think about my wife. My wife, she's been at our current company for over 20 years. I think she just most recently just created a LinkedIn page. We talked about it. She said I think she said she had one. I'm not sure, but either way, she's been working at her current job before LinkedIn was around, I believe. So she didn't need to have LinkedIn. So I bring that up because chances are, people like her that haven't interviewed in a very long time, those skills have atrophy. So
Exactly.
So you need to essentially practice to the whole process. Go ahead, Coach. What you have to say?
Most people don't think they need help with interview skills. They think they need help with self-doubt. That's what they think. That's what they call it. They say, oh, I'm just kind of uncomfortable, talking about my skills, or, oh, I don't know what to say when I ask this question. But if you say to somebody, generally, do you interview well? Most people think they interview well. They think they're doing a good job. They just call it something else. Because, and that's okay. But to your particular point, I meet lots of people who have been in one particular job for 20 plus years, and then all of a sudden they realize that they don't know how to talk about their success. And they don't know how to talk about how they can add value to a new organization. So that's all interviewing is that you discussing how you can add value to a brand new organization based off of your experience.
See,
That's
what you
it.
just said, that nailed it. So if you can answer that question, that if they don't ask that question in an interview, you better believe you should offer that at the end. Like when they ask if you have any questions, ask your questions. But then that could be your wrap up. You know what? Before I go, I'd be remiss.
Yeah.
I have to tell you what I have to
Mhm.
offer. And you
Mhm.
say
Exactly.
that. I mean, that is an awesome closing statement.
Absolutely. And you want to frame all of your other statements based off of that statement. So what's really popular are behavior-based interview questions. And so every single question, they're asking you about past performance so they can predict future behavior. Okay? And quite honestly, people have a harder time making up a story or lying, basically, if when you
Right.
ask a behavior-based interview question, basically because the story won't make sense if you lie. And they keep asking you these questions over and over again to either, one, they have a rapport with you and they trust you and they have an idea of what your character is, or B, you don't really make sense and they got a funny feeling about you, so they know not to call you back. And so, exactly. So what you want to do is you want to know that going in, and you want to think about particular stories that express who you are in given situations. If you've been in the workforce for, any number of years, you've had a challenge with a coworker. So they want you to be able to talk about that, and they want you to be able to talk about how you solved it. They want to know about your weakness, not because they want to know where you have flaws. They want to know how is it that you manage your weakness. And so, yes, tell them what your weakness is, and then tell them how it is that you manage that particular weakness. And it was a human resource manager that shared this, and he shared it with one of my classes. He said, I ask people their weakness all the time, and so I'm going to tell you mine. He said, I love to talk, and I tend to have too long of interviews. How I manage that is I set a timer, and then I have somebody come knock on my door 15 minutes after my timer goes off, so I get two reminders. There's nothing wrong with having that particular weakness. All of us have weaknesses. If you know what they are, it makes you appear self-aware, and it makes you be a good manager of self, a good leader of self, if you know how to fix it, if you're cognizant of how to fix it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's almost like when it comes down to sales, I think about when I go and meet with folks, I typically plan for the objection. So I plan for the different objections that I'm going to foresee or I expect. So when the scenario comes, chances are I'm better prepared to answer that question or obstacle. So, and even if I'm not, sometimes just being humble and say, that's a good question or a good scenario. I'm not sure I have to get back to you on that. Like, mind you, this is more
Yes.
self, but be humble. Sometimes don't make something up on the spot, and sometimes not even having an answer for the question, but being humble and say, I don't really know how to answer that, and say something else or find something else to say that might be in line with what they're asking, but not directly, could be a better way to approach it rather than actually answering the question with something that's fictitious. And it's going back to what Coach Erica says, then if it doesn't pass the sniff test, chances are you might rub the person the wrong way. And like what Coach Erica said, they're not going to ask you back for a follow-up email, a follow-up interview.
Absolutely. I'm going to put a structure. It's very important to practice answering your interviews in a structure. I'm going to put a particular method in the comments here as soon as I can find it. But it's called the STAR method. And that's just a structure that you can use to answer behavioral-based interview questions. And it stands for situation, task, action, result. And if you practice telling your stories in that particular manner, you will be able to be understood, because you don't want to tell some rambling story and they're like, what's the point? Hey, do you know what we asked that person? What? So you want to kind of have very structured answers, and you want to be prepared for group interviews. You want to be prepared for more than one person to interview you as well, because that's happening. Now, I'm going to ask the group this. Let's pretend that I'm the interviewer and all of you are on the interview together, right? And let's pretend that Marcello stole your answer, right? Because I asked the question, and you know how that goes, right? In an interview, somebody speaks up first, and that was, just what you were going to say, but you hesitated, right? Right? So Marcello stole your answer. And then they say, and you're next. They say Chris, or they say Kenya, they say Chad, they say Christopher. What do you have to say? Because they threw the question out, Chello answered first, and now you're called on. And he stole your answer. What happened?
I would say hire Chello.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
I like plan B.
Yeah, I always want to help a friend out. Because it's I say hire Chello, he'll hire me.
Exactly.
All right. There
what
you
was
go.
the question though? But what was the?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the question is. The answer to my question is most important, and the answer is, if that's really what you were thinking, then be very natural and say, you know what, I really like Chello's answer, and let me tell you what I like about it. I like this, and this. As a matter of fact, that's just the line of thinking I had. And the only thing that I would add, the only thing that I might add or change is this, or this.
I like your response because that gives you time to add to that. I like that.
Yes.
It gives you the stall.
All right, Chello, you're not getting the job anymore.
Exactly. Because in that, it doesn't matter what Chello said. In that one scenario, I just showed that I could promote a colleague. I just showed my character there. I showed that I could promote a colleague, and then not only can I promote them, I can add value. Who cares who has the right answer? Who cares who said it first is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
employers are all about, teams. They're all about, synergy. One plus 1 equals 5. If I hire 2 of you and I get 5 out of 2, then I am making money. Right. So if you're that kind of person who can build things up, I love you. Mm-hmm. That's what I want.
Awesome.
Wow.
So, if I was going to give, besides practicing your interview, if I was going to give anybody advice prior to going into an interview, this is going to sound wacky, but I would tell them to write down everything that they were grateful for. Because if your mindset is right, if you are generous at heart, then that is what's going to come out of you. And people are attracted to that. People are attracted to generosity, humility, kindness. And so if you have decided that you are grateful and that you are living from a place of plenty, that is just going to flow from your soul. And you are going to have actions like supporting your colleague. You're going to have actions like being engaging and asking pertinent questions, being in the moment and being mindful. So if you want to change how you show up in the world, change what's going on in your mind.
I subscribe to that. I'm big on mindset, and before you came on the show, I was telling folks that when I woke up this morning, and actually I'm remembering what happened when I told my wife, "Whew, I wish today was Saturday," because the way my body felt. So in our bathroom, we have the tub. So I literally sat on the edge of the tub, and I have those electric toothbrushes, and I'm like, I was so exhausted, I didn't want to stand up. But if you watched the video that I posted earlier today, you would think that I woke up drinking coffee, and I was so far from the truth. Because little by little, I just started motivating myself, and when I posted that video at 3, I recorded that video a few moments before, and normally at the end of the day, historically, I've known people to be winding down. At 3, I'm like, woo, let's get it going. So I subscribe to that my mindset. That's a huge thing, and that's why. But at the same time, as I say that, I curb my enthusiasm to my audience, because sometimes, like my wife says, tell it to me in your inside voice, because my wife is not a morning person, so much so that when we get up, I let her do her thing in the bathroom, and I'm downstairs, managing, starting my day, but we in separate spaces as she starts her day, because she just needs her separation in the morning to start her day. Me, if it's up to me, I'm like a little puppy, like I'd never put the snooze button. I wake up ready. I literally don't use a snooze button. I wake up always like that. Might be slow, but I get up. So, mind you, I'm a rare breed. I know that, but
I love it.
How are you closing out? How are you closing us out, Chello?
Yeah,
you haven't
man.
said anything yet. You let all of us talk. We need to hear from you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I just want to thank very much for the opportunity to meet everyone here today. I had a great, insightful conversation with everyone. I enjoyed all the advice from Coach Erica. Thank you very much for meeting Kenya. Thank you very much for being so transparent and letting folks know what the current challenges that you have faced, what you're going through, and also sharing your journey with us as well. Thank you very much. I'm thankful that Chad came through, shared his story, and had a deeper voice. He was able to come through, so I love that. Sometimes he might be a little bit soft spoken, but he carries a big stick, so that's the thing. And then my dude all the way from New York, I love my dude Christopher, so thank you very much for coming through. Thank you for your support. Everyone, my name is Marcella Arcelay. I provide recycling waste services for businesses right here in Metro Atlanta, in the A. You know about that city. So if you know someone that needs help, small businesses, it could be someone that's selling chicken, like a chicken joint. I can help them save their bill. If you know someone that owns multiple Chick-fil-A franchises and they need someone with reliable service, I'm your guy. Then lastly, if you represent a company that is like a Fortune 500 company that needs to implement sustainable solutions to ensure that you meet certain environmental metrics, I'm your guy. I can definitely help you with that. So if you know someone, have them, tag them to this video or ask them to connect with me. So thank you very much for watching Cocktails with Y'all. I want to thank everyone that joined me today on the panel. I had a fantastic time. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. You guys have a wonderful evening, and you guys take care. You guys are awesome. I can't thank you guys enough. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Everyone have a great evening.
All right, Cello. See you.
See you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Good night, guys.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.